All right, we live.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to the GOAT James Kingdom Show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. As y'all know, we go live every Sunday, noon Eastern Time, right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel on YouTube. We're also going live on our GOAT James Kingdom Facebook group. So y'all go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to become a member of the channel because we are attacking the GOAT debate head on. Brandon and I do not shy about this. We talk about your favorite player, and we talk about LeBron James being the GOAT better than your favorite player. So this is what we do week in and week out. So thank you for joining us on another Sunday afternoon as we will be discussing what is the greater achievement to be considered the greatest scorer of all time. Is it 40,000 points scored like GOAT James put up, or is it the 10 scoring titles that Michael Jordan was able to do during his career? So we're going to have a great discussion. We have our normal panel as usual. We got Craig and Travis in the building. We'll put the link up shortly for everybody else. So we're going to have a great discussion again, y'all. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom. What's good, Brandon? What we got for these folks today?
That's good. So let's go ahead and kick it off with our panel. Let's start with Travis first. Even though we listed 10 scoring titles, what do you think is Jordan's greatest scoring accomplishment?
Well, I mean, I've said this before that scoring titles don't really mean anything to me because generally, when you go out down throughout history, you'll see almost everyone who's led or who's won a scoring title has taken like an inordinately more amount of shots than, or significantly more amount of shots than the runner-up or like the top five guys. Like for example, you have like players like Allen Iverson winning it in '02, shooting 39% from the field, but he took 8 more shots per game than Shaq, and so who shot way better from the field. So to me, it's just what makes you a great scorer is your consistency, yeah, and your efficiency. And like I said, there's only 8 players, or there's 10 players who've done it the best. You got Adrian Dantley, Mike, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Shaq, Dr. J, Hakeem, Kareem, Karl Malone, and Will Chamberlain. Those are the only 10 players who've ever led their team in scoring for at least 10 years in any year, and done so at a 50% clip or better during that time frame. So those are the best scorers. Anything else to me is just semantics.
All right, but still, just thinking about Michael Jordan, what is his greatest scoring accomplishment?
So Mike in particular, I would say his accomplishment. I mean, I'd like there's several times where he averaged at least 30 points a game on better than 50% shooting. I'd say you could say like his '88 year where he averaged what like 53% from the field and he was dropping like 35 points a game. I'd say anytime you combine that level of volume with that level of efficiency, you're an incredible weapon any way you want to slice, especially at the guard position where obviously most of your shots are going to be from 10 feet or farther out. Anyone who's doing that at an efficient clip is hard to stop.
Okay. All right, Craig, what is Jordan's greatest scoring accomplishment?
Um, I wouldn't say the scoring titles because like he said, it's based on the shots you take the game, but it's just his accomplishment is like he's saying, just scoring 30 and 50% or better in multiple seasons. That was for me.
Okay. All right. What is Jordan's greatest scoring accomplishment?
I think what both of them said, the scoring titles, the averaging 30, the total amount of points he scored in seasons. I mean, each one is his greatest thing. I mean, that's what he did was score. So he got the scoring titles to back it up. He got the totals in certain seasons to back it up, and then he got the scoring average to back it up. I mean, I can't limit it to just one because all three of them is a part of who he is.
Okay. All right, Johnny, what is Jordan's greatest scoring accomplishment?
His career average of 30 points per game and 32,000 points. To be honest with you, I would say that probably the 32,000 points is probably his greatest accomplishment. That's up there. That and or the 30 points per game, either or. But I'll go with the 32,000. That's better.
All right, all right. All right, let me go ahead back to Travis. Where do you rank Kobe all time as the greatest scorer? What rank would you have him?
As far as scoring wise,
Yeah, as the greatest scorer. What rank would you have?
Uh, I'd say Kobe to me, as far as just being a skilled scorer, like in the way that he would score, I'd say he's top 10
Mhm.
scorer. I mean, um, because there was a lot of things that he was obviously, I think, in the one of the hardest eras defensively of all time to score. You look at the average field goal percentage was much lower than it is today, or even like in the 80s and 90s. But he was at or slightly above that average, and I mean he wasn't very efficient for if we're just talking about all time guys, but I think that he had a much deeper bag than a lot of people that we talk about. But I think he was very skilled in scoring the ball, especially when he got on heaters. But I'd put him top 10 for sure if we're just talking about ability to score the rock.
You wouldn't put him in the top five?
Hold on, my thing's glitching up here. Could you repeat that? Sorry, man.
That you wouldn't put him in the top five?
Top five? No, because at some point, efficiency and results get they trump anything else for me. So I don't have him in my top five all time scorers, but I mean, if we're just talking about sheer volume and skill wise, sure, but just the people who actually score the rock better than anyone else, no.
Who would you put in your top five?
So my top five is going to be uh, all around. I would say, just looking at my list that I have here, I'd say uh, Kareem, Mike, LeBron, uh, Carl Malone, and Wilt.
Okay. All right. All right. Craig, where would you rank Kobe as all-time scorer?
I mean, it depends on what you mean as the all-time score. If what you value more, if you value efficiency or just the value of scoring, you can. I mean, from what he did, you could put him in the top 10. But if you want to go into like the context of it, if you want to, like you said, with the efficiency, he never had a season when he 50% from the field. So it's kind of hard when you got guys that put up that much points and did it more efficiently. So,
Okay, so you also won't put him in the top five?
oh no,
No, no,
I
okay.
mean not
All
like
right.
that, but no.
I mean, that is how you said it, Craig. You said no.
All right. John, where would you put Kobe all-time scoring?
uh, when you just get at the results, forget everything when you just talk about the results. Yes, he's top 10, but he's not top five. And that 50% shooting percentage is a big reason. I mean, because you're going to have big men who are Kareem, for example, who's going to be in that top five who shot 50%. And then you got, I mean, LeBron is in there and he shoots 50%. So Jordan shoots 50%. I just named three, and I can name like three more, and Kobe is in that category. But he is definitely top 10 because when you just talk about results, the ball is in the basket. Kobe's in that conversation. So yes, he is top 10. And if you was to force me to put, and I didn't go off the top of my head number, I think he'd be 7 or 8.
Yeah, I said about 8.
All right. All right. All right. Johnny, what would you rank Kobe all time? He's the fourth greatest scorer of all time. That's all you got to say. Just number four.
He's number 4 on the list, right? Who else got more than 33? Three more players, right?
Yup.
Yeah, okay then. So yeah, that makes him number 4. We're gonna put the link up for everybody shortly. Don't worry, be patient with us. Thank you for joining us on another great Sunday afternoon. We see y'all in the comments. Shout out to Ishmael. We see Twin Man. Appreciate out to True the King. He's feeling good. Boston's up 3-0. We got another great game tonight. So
My
shout out to
post was
everybody in
right.
the
I said
comments.
Celtics in 4, Dallas in 6. I'm on the money so far.
That
Well,
was
you
what you called out. That's a good one. That's
I
a
made
good
a
one.
post about it. Everybody
yeah,
laughed at
no, he
me.
made the post. He definitely made the point. I don't think Dallas is gonna win in 6, but I think he got the Celtics in 4 easy.
Mm, mm.
All right. All right. Travis, what is LeBron's greatest scoring accomplishment?
To me, it's just 2013 season. Well, I mean, I would say this season, but 2013 it also was when he was also expending a lot more energy defensively on that end too. So he was their best player on both ends, indisputably. Um, when he was shooting, you know, what was like 55 or 9 or in 40 from the field, and he was a top three defensive player. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like to me, that was he was combining efficiency with all three levels. And let me admit that I have also Kevin Durant top five scorer of all time. To me, he's the best as far as like all the combinations. But for me, LeBron that season was his best just because of the two-way perspective of it and how much energy he was expending too.
Okay, Craig, what is LeBron's greatest scoring accomplishment to you?
I would say what he did in 2018 playoffs.
All right. All
That's
right, John, what is
I mean,
what is
you could
LeBron's greatest
you could
scoring accomplishment?
you could pick a game. You could pick
His,
a
his
game.
greatest his greatest scoring accomplishment to me was the shot in OKC when he became the all-time leading scorer in NBA history.
Okay.
39,000 points, something nobody has ever done. 40,000 points, something nobody's ever done. And every point he scores after that, something nobody's ever done. His consistency is scoring at least 25 points per game for 20 straight seasons. I mean, do I need to say any more? I mean, besides all that, I mean, and then if you just
That's
want to
all.
add, and then if you want to add that he has 11,000 assists, I mean, he's the third all time in
With
assists.
no help.
All right. I guess John, his statement's a little bit different because the Jordan fans kept it to one season and John kept it to a career. All right, Johnny,
Because that's what he
what is
said at that
LeBron's
time.
greatest scoring accomplishment?
I mean, obviously 40,000 points, man. Listen, that's the number, man. 40,000. 40,000 points. That's great. That's it. I would say that. And because he did it, 20 straight years, averaging 25, that's what it's going to take. You would have to average 20 years at 25 points per game. So that's it, man. 40,000 points, man. 40,000. 40,000. Oh,
That's crazy.
That's
That's
correct. I
crazy.
mean, 40,000 is crazy. How can you in the? I mean, coming to the league and your goal is to get to 40,000. There's just so many things have to go right for you in your career for you to even reach 30,000 points to even have the argument for 40,000 points.
Well, players are playing longer. Look, this is Durant's 16, 17th season. He's still got about four good seasons left in him. Players are just playing longer now. They they
yeah,
they
but he hasn't
healthier.
played. He hasn't played that many games in the last 4 years as well. This is the first time in I think
Yeah,
like
he
four
missed a lot of
years.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
So
been hurt a lot.
yeah, yeah. So
I
yeah,
mean,
I
he's
know.
still.
I agree with you. Their players will be playing longer seasons. We'll see players
So you're
playing
going to
close
be
to 20
seeing these
seasons.
players finish their careers 18 seasons, 17 All Stars and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
LeBron is
that.
the first. He's the prototype to what these players are going to be
Yeah, KD
as
is
far as
definitely
playing.
KD is definitely next for 30,000. That's definitely gonna happen for him. So
Yeah.
So what's this Kevin Durant 16th year? He played 1,061 games in 16 years. So
he got another 200, 300 games he can play. I can say.
yeah, yes. Yeah.
Now,
All right.
I don't know. I don't know at 28, 29 points per game, but it'll be again he'll pass Mike. He'll be top five by the end of his career.
All right. So Travis, who is the greatest scorer of all time and why?
Kevin Durant, because he's provided consistency uh, with wild efficiency, especially relative to when you typically only see this type of efficiency outside of a center level or a forward, and or like someone who plays back to the basket consistently or close, and he's a three level scorer. He has a 38 almost 39% career average from three, and again he's played about 17 seasons or whatever it is. um, Obviously, he's not more overall consistent. I say he's just as consistent as LeBron up to this point in his career. He hasn't played as long, but if you're talking about to me just the best scorer who combines efficiency with um, you can do it at every place in the floor, and you have every move in the book. To me, that's Kevin Durant.
All right, Craig, who is the greatest scorer of all time and why?
The greatest scorer? Well, it depends on what you define as greatest. How you want to attack who's the greatest scorer. If you want to go, okay, scored who scored the most points, then you would say LeBron. If you want to say who dominated when they played, people will say Jordan. If you want to say efficiency wise, people are going to say Kevin Durant. So it's all what you prefer. And I prefer the person who dominated against the players he played against. And that's why I say Jordan.
Say Jordan and Wilt, or just Jordan?
Well, Jordan dominated his more than well with the titles, with the scoring titles,
Okay. All
and
right, John, who's the greatest scorer of all time and why?
LeBron, 40,000 points, and that, because of everything what Craig said. Who's dominating his era? Well, LeBron is still dominating his era. It continues on. It hasn't stopped yet. So I mean, his story is still going on. I mean, 40,000 points. I mean, at some point he's going to have at least more than 10,000 points more than Jordan. And I don't even know why. I mean, I don't know why he's still in the conversation. I think Durant took Jordan out of the conversation as one of the greatest scorers ever alone. So I mean, I don't even know why Jordan is even still in this conversation besides 10 scoring titles.
John, who's the greatest scorer of all time and why?
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James. 40,000 points, 20 straight years, averaging 25, dominated in 3 different eras. Most points scored in the 2010s.
I mean, most points in the 90s is Karl Malone.
You can play my video like that. That'd explain it even better.
All right.
No.
There we go.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron.
All right. Well, I'm a little bit surprised that you guys think Kevin Durant is. Well, two of you guys think he's a better scorer than Jordan. I don't think that's true at all. I think if Kevin Durant was such a great scorer, he would score more. I know he's scoring almost 30 now, but someone who has the clear advantage, somehow he's not scoring as much as Jordan. He doesn't take as many shots as Jordan. Maybe that's why he doesn't have more points at the moment. But
he had better
yeah,
teammates all the time.
Kevin Durant is a great scorer. But man, I think it's clearly LeBron James is the greatest scorer of all time. Like he's the youngest and oldest player to average 30 in a season. That's crazy. He's been averaging 27 points per game since high school.
Yes, that's correct.
He has so many seasons of the most points at a certain age than anybody in NBA history. I mean, he holds the record for the youngest to 1,000 to each milestone of 1,000 to 40,000. That's
Doesn't he
over
have,
48,000 points total.
doesn't he have the
40 in
highest?
this.
Doesn't he have the highest points per game average for somebody who has a 50 and 40 season?
Who, Durant?
Durant
I'm
had a
not.
higher season.
I
I
thought it
would-
was Bird.
Right.
Bird has a 29.9. He was
I
almost
would
at
think
30.
I would think it'd be Durant.
So Durant is the 6th highest scoring or average scoring average of all time, and realistically, it's 4th because Luka and Joel Embiid are up there right now, but they're going to slip most likely. So and out of those guys, he's definitely the most efficient if you're not counting Wilt Chamberlain. So, I mean,
Yeah,
LeBron's right behind him.
he's very efficient, but what he's done in his career does not even match what LeBron James has done. I think that's the problem. Like LeBron James, after this season, will have scored 50,000 career total points. He's already at 48,000
Sure.
already.
But I don't
Like
think that I don't think that Durant will eclipse that because I think that he's not physically going to be the same type of have the same type of longevity or durability, I should say, that LeBron does here in year 20 going on 21. But I mean, if you look at their careers, like they have almost the same trajectory. Like first year they were getting their footing, and then it's from then on it's just been you know, super, great efficiency and consistency. But I mean, if we're just talking about who's the better bucket getter, I don't see how you can say LeBron over Durant. Because I mean, if we're just talking about who's the more accomplished scorer, sure. But I mean, it really depends. Like, what's your cup of tea? I think he's a better scorer overall than Durant or than LeBron. It's close because obviously there are years where LeBron has proven he can be a 3 level scorer like this year, but I think Durant's just been a little bit more consistent from everyone before.
I think one thing for LeBron is that he's he's more of a mismatch. I think he's more of a mismatch because of his passing.
Oh,
Hmm.
if we're just talking about scoring, then I mean,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
talking about
like he's
offensive
more of a
overall, sure.
mismatch because of his passing. So it's
Oh yeah.
kind of hard just to guard him. It's like we see people push Durant certain ways. Like even now, like even a few years ago with Boston. Like if he's not making his shots, it's kind of difficult for him to actually be involved in the offense.
Oh yeah. If we're
So
talking about all around,
yeah,
then yeah. I mean, obviously LeBron's that
And
that threat level to pass too,
no, but and
and
I
he,
also
that's
think,
what.
I was gonna say, I also think that the future of the NBA are going to be more Wimbies. So we're gonna see a lot more 7 footers in the game coming into the game. So it's gonna be harder for Kevin Durant to stay. But I mean, again, Kevin Durant's one of the
I mean
best
he's
that
in
can.
year 16. It's not like he's going to be playing for 10 more years. So no matter what,
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying
that's not
because
going to be a problem.
yeah, because we already got Chet and Wimby in the league. There's the French kid is coming in this year. He's a 7 footer as well. So I'm just saying like the idea of him having the mismatches like he had throughout the years because he is a 7 footer as well. That alone can get him some points.
You
That's the
still
thing.
gotta know how to put the ball in the bucket.
No, I'm saying he knows how to do that, but he's always had that advantage because he can just legitimately shoot over people.
The
But
problem
now,
is the problem is he
I,
always had someone scoring 25 points on his team. That's why he never had to be a volume shooter.
yeah, I think the thing with Kevin Durant, if watching him throughout his career, for some reason he gets tired. His legs get tired, even though he doesn't weigh that much. And you see, the only like season that he was fresh in the playoffs was versus when he had Steph Curry's team because he didn't have to take on everything. So you could see how he lost that 3-1 lead in the playoffs. He's kind of flared out because his fatigue, his shot starts to get short. I think that's the thing with Kevin Durant. When his shots get short, when he gets tired, he's not able to get to the rim like a Jordan or Kobe or LeBron. He just continues to shoot jump shots and continue to be short, or he just does not shoot them at all. I think that's the one thing that I've seen from Kevin Durant that I wouldn't put him in the top five scoring. Maybe in the I just wouldn't put him in the top five scoring because I've seen too many of those seasons where when he has too much on his plate, he's not even able to get buckets.
hmm,
He's not able to just get to the rim. All his shots are short, and he's leaning on
Uh,
other teammates to actually do things for him. He's not able to be that passer. Okay, I'm tired. Let me pass. Let me get my energy. He's just out there.
Oh,
We see it a year in and year out with Kevin Durant in the playoffs. This is what happens to him when it's too much on his plate. You cannot really trust him to actually make shots.
also the eye test matter now, huh? Not
That's not the eye test. That's stats. He's not able
oh,
to make.
describe the
Brandon,
whole visual.
Brandon, I bet you that's in the. I
I would
bet
say
you
how
that's in
can
his.
visual when his shot his field goal percentage goes down. He's missing shots. How is that a eye test? That's facts.
I bet you that's a part of his scouting report is to wear down on him, lean on him, so that later on in the game that you can wear down on him. I could almost promise that's in his scouting report at this point.
Just like when Boston said and Al Horford said Game 7, they're exhausted. No one can make shots but LeBron James because he's in peak physical shape, and even though he's not making threes, he's going to get to the rim and he's going to make those shots. I know most people look at LeBron in year 21 or year 20 and say, "Oh, LeBron's not doing this and not doing that." But over his career, we've seen LeBron James prevail, scoring at will all the time in the playoffs. His scoring average goes up by sometimes double digits because when it's time to put the ball in the basket, LeBron does that. Even when we sing, like we played the Jordan game in '98 versus Utah, and we played a few other games, even his 63-point games where he's just missing a lot of shots. And you say that we're showing like his basically worst games, even though he's scoring 63, scoring 40, but he's missing a lot of shots. When Durant
Well,
does
sure.
that, he just stops shooting. He
Well,
just
Brandon,
completely stops shooting.
can you tell me who the top five best playoff scorers are, just in terms of points per game?
Points per game.
Yeah.
I don't. I know what is. I know it's
Yeah,
Kevin
it's
Durant
Mike.
and like number
It's
three, Mike
Mike. It's
IA
Mike.
AI
Jerry West.
and
And
Luca.
is
I think Luca or Embiid.
well, yeah, it's Luca now. I forgot it's Luca. It's Luca. Well, it's Mike Luca. Is it AI number three or Kevin Durant?
No, you guys said all the names. Yeah, it's Mike, Luca, which I don't know how that's gonna stay, but Allen Iverson, Kevin Durant, Jerry West.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
talking
Like
about
I
just
said,
all time consistent performers. But
That's
I
just
mean, do,
that's
do,
just
do those people
playoff.
shrink
Wait,
in
wait,
the
so
clutch
What
sometimes?
what's that
wait,
have
wait.
to do? What's that
Wait,
have
wait.
to do
What
when the final
consistent
game of the
performance
yeah?
does Luca have? Luca has like
Luca's
less
at
than 30.
31.
How many playoff games he played?
No, but that's why I said Luca's probably gonna fall. I should say because
But
he only has a.
what's the point you're making, Travis? What's
I
the point
think
you're making?
I
Like
don't think
just
that
because
we
they
can
have a
call
higher
Kevin.
points per game.
Yeah, I don't think that we can just use like very small instances to say that Kevin Durant doesn't get it done when it matters. Like he'll be there, but him not scoring the ball isn't why he's lost.
Are you taking shots at Brandon?
Is him not being able to score balls when it's a clinching game doesn't matter. Just matters what he do prior to those games.
No,
Why? That's
you're
why
talking
I don't
about
put him
okay.
as the top five
Has he
scorer.
not? Has there been times where he hasn't hit huge shots? Sure, but then you could say that about every single person on any list that you talk about. Like, there's no way that you could say that LeBron's like the most clutch playoff player and perform of all time. Like, you can't like. I mean, everyone has their abilities to exceed or perform very well, and all these players have, and that's why they have stacked resumes. But I don't think it's fair to like nitpick certain things when you're trying to elevate one dude when you can just keep that same energy and
I'm not
like.
trying to elevate LeBron. I'm just saying I don't think Kevin Durant's a top five scorer of all time because of what I've seen from him in the playoffs. I would put Kobe Bryant above Kevin Durant any day. Kobe Bryant's a better scorer than Kevin Durant.
Hmm.
So the guy with the most game winners isn't the clutchest one.
All right, all right.
No,
What up,
Well,
what
that's
up,
just
what,
hey
what up,
man,
disingenuous
Ralph?
what's
stat
up?
there.
What's
We
good,
got
Ralph?
we got
What's
Ralph in the
good, Ralph?
building. Shout out to Ralph. Thank you for joining us on another great Sunday afternoon.
The
So
most
you
game
see,
winners.
you
Here
see
we
what
go.
we talking? We're talking the greatest scores and what's the
Casual ass
greatest.
take.
All
I
right,
expected
all
better
right,
from you,
Ralph.
John.
Are you ready for this heat, Ralph? You ready?
But judging by your Facebook post lately, I'm not really surprised.
I've been just so you know, I've been catching you in that basketball talk group only. I've been catching
Dude,
you in there.
I know you have, man. You little laughing faces. I got you.
All right, hey, Ralph, you ready? Or you still need a minute? I think Ralph still need a minute.
Okay,
All
shout out to
right.
Ralph though. Y'all know what's up. Hey, Travis, let me ask you a question. What's the difference between the amount of
Yo,
points scored between? Oh, there go Ralph is here. What up, Ralph?
All right. All right, Ralph. Let's go ahead
my
and just
what's up, man? My fault.
catch you up
My
to
fault.
date.
My headset was acting up.
All right, it's cool. All right, we was talking
I
about
see you
LeBron
cracking
and
jokes
Jordan
though.
and all the other players. All right, Ralph, what is
Uh huh.
Jordan's greatest scoring accomplishment?
His what?
What is Jordan's
I couldn't hear
greatest scoring
you.
accomplishment?
I mean, you can say the 10 scoring
Can
titles,
you hear me now?
and
The
yeah,
10
I can hear
scoring
you.
titles?
I'll say
Okay.
the 10 scoring titles. Also, he led the league in totals 11 times.
All right. What is LeBron James scoring greatest scoring accomplishment?
His greatest scoring accomplishment? I mean, being an
Hmm.
all-time leading scorer.
All right. And where would you rank Kobe in as an all-time scorer.
As an all-time scorer,
Yeah.
uh, Kobe's a little tricky for me. He's a little tricky for the fact that he's top 10. I could say that.
Everybody say he's
He's
top
top
10.
10. I
Who's
say
your
he's
top
top
five
10.
scorers? Who's your top five scorers?
Um, Jordan, uh, LeBron, KD,
Ooh.
Will.
Okay, Ralph. Okay.
One more.
Ooh,
Mm.
you had me there, Ralph. You almost had me there, Ralph.
Well, you thought I was gonna say Will?
Yeah, I thought you
One
wasn't
more.
gonna say Will. Go ahead, go ahead. One more,
I was
one
gonna
more.
say
All right,
Will. One
all
more.
right. Well, Kareem.
I'll say Kareem. Yeah, I can say Kareem.
Kareem.
I can
All
say
right,
Kareem.
all right, all right. So, who is the greatest scorer of all time in your mind, and why?
I think Jordan's the greatest scorer of all time for the fact that during the time when he was playing, how the way he was able to score on the court, and on top of that, being a shooting guard, leading the league and scoring 10 times, breaking that record after Wilt done had it for so many years. When he broke that record in '97, and it still holds up to this day. And on top of that, you even if you look at the totals throughout the duration of his career, he led the league 11 times in totals. He led the league in totals his rookie year. So it's like when I see all of that combined, that's very remarkable within his career.
So you're basically relating the scoring titles as more important than an all-time leading scorer.
I think it's a collective of the scoring titles plus leading the league in totals as well.
Okay, so seasonal is above career to you in your mind.
I mean, that's his career. I mean, that's what he did within the duration of his career.
Yeah, because scoring titles are seasonal, and career he's
Hmm.
fifth all time. So you're
Yeah.
relating seasonal awards over what a career basically. So
No,
you basically think
it's a whole
what
collective.
Jordan did in a season is more important all
Season by
time
season.
than yeah,
I
season
think
by
what he was
season
able to do.
for 10 years. Yeah, I get you. So just like I understand like some people think that those 10 scoring titles is more important than what Carmelo did in his career. Carmelo got what 36,000 points. Jordan got 10 scoring titles. So 10 scoring titles seasonal is above what someone did for a career, even though they have no points.
Well, he
I
did play
well,
with the great
I
Karl
said
Malone.
what
Mhm.
I said is the 10 scoring titles, and he also led the league in totals in the 11 times in the season, and plus he repeated that in the playoffs as well.
Okay. All right, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think
And he
Jordan's
played
the second
against
greatest
Karl
scorer of all
Malone.
time.
His whole career, Karl Malone never won a scoring title when he played in the same season as Jordan.
Karl Malone got the most points in the '90s.
Karl Malone never had scored the
He
most
played more
points in a
season than
season when
he
Jordan
played
was
more
playing.
seasons in the '90s than
I
Jordan
mean,
too. That's the
hey,
reason
hey,
why.
hey, he's available. He didn't retire. He didn't quit. I mean,
He
Availability
didn't
is the
win.
best
He didn't
ability,
win either.
Ralph.
I
He didn't
mean,
win either.
Jordan got 982 game seasons, so that doesn't mean
What's the
anything.
differential in the '90s between Carmelo and Jordan though?
It's a good
You know,
question.
I just know Carmelo has more
Probably not
points.
that much, to be honest with you.
I'm pretty sure it's so
Probably
significant.
not that
I'm pretty
much.
sure it's significant. Let me go check. I'm pretty sure it's significant.
Jordan put up 18,000 points in the 90s between 1990 and 1998.
That's 8 seasons.
Oh, it's 8 now. Okay.
No, it's
No, I'm
not.
just saying that's how many
It's
seasons
not
he
eight
played in the
seasons.
'90s.
It's
Oh,
No,
it's
eight.
only
It's
six in the
seven.
90s. He
Seven.
only played six in the 90s. He didn't. He only
No,
played
he
six
did.
in the
You
90s.
got you. They don't like to count 1990 as the 90s. 1990s is the 90s. So let's see here. Carl Malone.
See,
Let's
Carmelo scored 21,370.
so
Jordan
about 2,000. So
18,014. So
about
it's
over 2,000. All right.
3,300.
Now go to games played in the '90s.
You want to know what the minutes played too?
Jordan played 585 games in the 90s.
And Carmelo plays 200 more, 785.
Yeah, but Carmelo, but how many shot attempts does Carmelo have in that span, Brandon?
So let me ask you this: what is
18.7
let's hear. I want
and
to hear that one.
223.4.
But no, I mean the attempts, total attempts. What's the? Oh, you don't have the total attempts?
Total? I just did
Yeah.
average. Let me see if they got totals. No, they don't have totals on StatMuse.
All right, let me
What,
give you
so what's the
total.
worst?
I
But
notice about stat muse, you got to be tricky about stat muse. Sometimes they don't be
yeah,
having
Carmelo,
it on
yeah,
point.
you have to add. But Carmelo shot 53% and Jordan shot 50%. 50.1, Carmelo 53.1.
Yeah, Carmelo shot 14,654 shots in the 90s. Jordan shot 13,661. So
Jordan don't be playing.
Jordan took about 1,300 less shots.
So let me ask you this: what's worse to have, the most shots missed in history or the most shots missed in the season? The most seasons with the most missed shots.
I mean I don't know why we have to talk about missed
Answer the
shots.
question.
I don't know why we're talking about missed shots.
I don't want to answer the question. What's worse to have, the most missed shots
I don't
in
judge
history, or the
judge
most
what's worse.
seasons having the most missed
I don't
shots?
judge what's worse. Somebody else could do that. I judge what's greater. That's what we do here. We judge greatness
Okay.
around here. That's what I want to know.
Okay.
Sound like Jordan got
So
the
you,
most.
so you ain't got no answer.
So it
No,
sound
I
like
mean
Jordan-
Jordan. What's the most?
Hey,
What's
Craig
the most
coming
field
with
goal
the heat
attempts?
today.
No,
I'll
what's
just
the
ask
most
the
field goal
question.
attempts missed? What is the most field goal attempts missed in the season?
What are you talking about? I said the most. I said the most seasons having the most missed field goals in the season.
Okay.
So it don't matter
Or
how
what's
many
worse?
field
Or
goals you
what's
miss.
or,
How many
or
seasons
has
you
the
led the
The
worst?
league
most
in
field
missed
goals missed
field
in the
goals?
season.
How
Who
many
has the most field goals
seasons you
missed in the
led the
season?
league in missed field goals?
I ain't gonna lie, that might be Wilt. As many attempts he was taking in the '60s.
No,
that
Jordan
might be
has the
him.
most. Jordan has the most field goal missed in NBA history. He has 7. Nobody's done it more than him.
He has the most miss in a season.
Yeah.
Most seasons leading the
Kobe's right
league in
behind him
missed
with
field
6.
goals.
Yeah, missed field goals, leading the NBA in missed field goal attempts. Michael Jordan did it 7 times.
Are we talking
Yeah, I
about per
remember.
game?
Yeah, no, total, just the totals. I never did per game, but per game, no, it's gonna definitely per game is gonna be people in the 70s and the 60s for sure. Guys that was missing 15, 14 shots per game easily. But again, that's what we're gonna compare Jordan shooting to. It's always gonna be compared to players that play with 120 possession games and stuff like that. That's how Jordan is. But if y'all want to go to modern NBA,
I mean, if he had a teammate that could score 25 points a game, he
There you
wouldn't
go.
have to shoot those many shots a game. His best teammate, best season was 22 points per game.
I don't know. The best,
Did LeBron ever win with a player with 22 points 6 times?
I mean, you gotta be able to be willing passer.
Because he never
He
played
wasn't a
against
willing
team.
passer.
No, he never played against a team that only had one 20-point scorer. That's why.
I mean,
That's
when
very
your
easy.
teammate only shooting 45%.
When the guy that only averaged 16 points per game still outscored the other team's second best player, what does it matter? Scottie Pippen was still outscoring the second best player on the other teams.
And every time
Throughout the 90s.
LeBron had a teammate that outscored, that's when he wins, huh?
Well, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
I mean, you gotta outscore the other team to win.
I don't know. Russell Westbrook averaged more than Dwayne Wade.
Kyrie Irving averaged more than Steph Curry.
In the finals, I'm talking about for the season. We're not just talking. Well, you just want to go to the actual playoffs.
Oh my gosh! So what are we talking about?
But you want to go to one round?
Yeah, because you
let's
don't do
go
that
to
with
one
Scottie
round.
Pippen. You didn't do that with you did that with one round. We could do that with Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen averaged more points than everybody on the Lakers in '91.
That's different.
I think he was on par. Hold on. I think he was on par with
You said that's different.
Speechless.
what you call it?
Speechless.
He averaged. It was 21 points to 22 points, Rob. It was like a point less than a point more than I think Worthy did the average for that series. Magic averaged 19.
Yeah, I know Magic averaged 19.
Yeah. Yeah, Will Worthy averaged 21. Scottie Pippen averaged 22.
Oh,
I mean, it happens. It's one series.
It's one series.
Yeah.
But he
said
did
no.
also did the same thing in '98 when Stockton averaged 13 points per game.
Yeah,
I
one
guess
series.
Stockton is
Was-
not.
Oh wait, not to mention against Ralph's Knicks in '91, the best player averaged 17 points per game. Scottie Pippen averaged more than that.
we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna be taking no shots at my Knicks.
I'm from
Brought it
Chicago.
up.
I'm from
Yeah,
Chicago,
brought it
Ralph.
up.
I'm from
I
Chicago,
brought
Ralph.
it
We
up.
never looked at Charles as a threat. I'm sorry.
Nah, we definitely was a threat.
No,
We
we
not
never
gonna do
looked at
that.
Charles as a threat. I mean, y'all might have felt like a
Nah,
threat.
we
but
did.
never looked at
Yeah,
Charles
we
as a
did.
threat. We never looked at Charles as a threat. We're like, it's New York. Okay.
Nah, we not doing that.
I mean, I'm telling you from the heart of Chicago how we felt. I mean,
I'm telling you, heart of New York. I'm from New York.
I
I
get
was
it.
there.
I get it. You said that y'all was a threat to us. I'm telling you, we didn't feel that threat.
Kiki Vandeweghe was the best scorer on the Knicks that series.
Yeah,
Where are
Patrick
they
is
now?
performing,
And supposedly Antoine Jameson's 32 points per game was weak competition for the GOAT.
I guess Ralph at 90. I guess Ralph at 93 when y'all went up 2-0. Y'all was celebrating, right?
Oh,
You
they
damn
had-
right
they
we
had-
was. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
They
We
had
were
it.
really, I was like, yes, and then I was like, shit.
They were celebrating like
At
they
the
were
end of the
celebrating
series, I'm like,
this year.
shit.
All they needed was one more night for Jordan to be in Atlantic City, but they went to Chicago.
Nah, we not doing.
They
We
went
not
to
doing
Chicago. They went to Chicago, and
that.
everything
He
changed.
said, God.
And
That's
today's
all.
schedule,
Atlantic.
he'd have still been in New York before they left the game 3. He'd
Yeah,
have still been in New York.
yeah. He could have. He could have. Today, yeah.
So we established that 40,000 points makes LeBron the greatest scorer of all time, right? We've established this.
I think they believe it's still Jordan because of his 10 scoring titles.
I don't know. It takes
I
10
already
years.
stated why.
Yeah, it takes 10 years to do
Yeah.
10 scoring titles. It takes
No, it
20 years.
takes you being
Takes
a better
20
scorer
years.
than the whole league for 10 years to get a scoring
And-
title.
And-
What about
and-
being better
what
scorer
is
than everybody in
40,000?
NBA history? What about being better scorer than everybody in NBA history?
Let me ask you a question.
What about that?
What's harder to do? Doing something for 10 years at an elite level or doing something for 20 years at an elite level?
But what do you see elite level? He didn't win no scoring titles when he scored 40,000.
Scoring titles doesn't mean that's not the only way to be elite.
But you was better than you
That
scored
showed
more
that he
points
was
per
very
game
consistent
than every
high
player
I
level.
agree
in the
with you,
league
Ralph.
that season.
But also 20 straight
That's
years of 20.
domination. When you the best scorer, you scored the most in those seasons against everybody you played against.
I outscored everybody that ever played.
Ever.
It's the oddest thing that you guys always relate to what he did in like a 10-year span compared to all time. He dominated his era. He's dominated for 10
No,
years
he
better than
played more
anybody in 10
games
years.
in his
But
era.
you dominated everyone in NBA history. More
Yeah.
points than anybody in NBA history.
He scored
many-
more than
Not only in the
everybody
regular season, but in the playoffs.
How many players in NBA history averaged 25 points per game or more for their NBA career?
You got.
It's like, what, 15? It's like 15, ain't it?
It's like 15 guys in NBA history.
Yes,
How
15.
many, how
Wherever.
many of those-
Kobe's right at 25, I believe. So that's,
I think
that's
Kobe
smart
at
right there.
24.
Yeah,
I
Kobe's
could've
at
sworn he
24.
Kobe at 24.99. 24.99.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh, now we want to count the secondary promote. Now we want to count that. Hey, if you're gonna do that, all right, that's cool. That's fine. Hey, let's leave Kobe out of it then. All right,
Wait a minute.
24.99. We can do that.
Ralph, you following my lead now, Ralph? You following my
We nah. You follow my lead because I always said Jordan's number one, and you said, oh, they tied. Nah, they had to round up for a will.
Okay, so Kobe would make.
If we're gonna do that.
Kobe makes the 16th player.
No. Keep the same energy. No,
No,
Kobe.
because if we
Nah,
go
he's
to
24.99.
NBA.com, if we go to NBA.com, it is 25 points per game. That's what. The
If
NBA
we go to
says
basketball reference, it's 24.99.
Kobe.
Yeah.
So-
We gonna lose that. So alleviate
so-
Kobe. Who's the
yes.
next in line?
So that is Karl Malone. Karl Malone's the next guy.
25 what?
25.02.
All right.
Now, out of those 15 players, how many of these guys have actually played 20 NBA seasons? None of them.
Carmelo, hold on. Carmelo
It's
Carmelo
just,
played
just
19.
Kareem. It's just
Carmelo at
Kareem.
19.
right?
Just
Kareem
Kareem.
don't average 25.
Kareem averaged
He don't
24.
average. He don't average. He's 24.6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So LeBron is the only guy who averages 20, has 20 years plus in this whole list of guys, because it's Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, Elgin Baylor, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Jerry West, Allen Iverson, Bob Pettit, Oscar Robinson, Trae Young, Damian Lillard, George Gervin, and Karl Malone. Those are the top 15 points per game scorers in NBA
nobody
history.
played.
I can't wait to players start
Nobody-
averaging
okay.
30 for their career. So wait till players start averaging 30 for their career.
Y'all gonna be the one that's gonna be hurt when that happens.
It already is. It's two of them. It's two
But this
of
is the
them.
thing. LeBron, though, did that for 20 seasons. He gave us 20 NBA seasons at 25 points per game plus. That is elite. That's why he was able to score 40,000 points. So the person who's going to score 40,000 points must average 25 points per game for 20 NBA seasons. That is better than averaging 30 for 10 years. It's just better.
Johnny, can I ask Ralph a question?
Go ahead.
But
Ralph,
what's up?
the All NBA team, second team, it was Kawhi Leonard. How did he get second team over LeBron, who was third team?
How did Kawhi?
Yeah.
Why? K Whistle.
I have an answer for that, but I'll let Ralph answer.
Maybe because how he was able to produce in the season and they were a higher seed. It's the only thing I can think of.
Even though LeBron produced more, I get the higher seed, but
That's probably what hurts LeBron right there with the lower seed.
Steph is third team, and he didn't even make the playoffs.
But they put Anthony Davis, so they say Anthony Davis.
Say that
over
again.
LeBron?
Say that again, John.
Steph is on the third team, and he didn't even make the playoffs.
Ooh.
I mean, Jaylen
Hold
Brown.
on.
did
It was
better
Steph.
season-wise
It was
than
Steph,
Kawhi.
LeBron. Who else was on that 13?
They say
Bonus.
Jaylen Brown.
Sabonis.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown had a better season than
It was
Kawhi.
Devin Booker. It was Devin
Yeah,
Booker,
Devin
Stephen
Booker.
Curry, LeBron James, Sabonis, and Halliburton.
Yeah.
That was the third team.
I don't know how Halliburton made
The
it.
second team was Brunson.
Yeah.
Anthony
Shout out to the
Edwards.
New York Knicks.
Yeah, he should have
AD.
gotten the first seed. He should have got first
Yes.
seed. About seeding.
He should have got it over. He should have got it over Tatum.
Oh, here we go with the shots
Ooh-wee.
fired. Shots
Ooh.
fired.
He should have had it over Tatum.
Here we
Oh,
go.
we should have had it over
Look,
Tatum.
Brunson.
What
Brunson.
happened?
Nah, you can't have it
We
over
young
Tatum.
playoffs.
Tatum was
How?
the number one seed.
Let's-
Tatum was the number one seed.
Hold on, he was the
Thank
number
you.
one seed. But if you look at the season that the Knicks had, that we were dealing with so many injuries and everything, still the number 2 seed.
I
And
mean,
then
you're
on
not
top
gonna-
of that, Brunson's ahead of him in the MVP race. On top of that,
You know the
Because-
gap
Yeah,
between
Because you had
I'm-
idiots
I
like
wouldn't put
Kendrick
him all over-
Perkins.
over
and he was
Tatum.
the 4th leading scorer in the league.
the gap between
Put
the
him
He
over
Lakers.
was,
Tatum.
he was over. He was over.
was 13
I would say
games.
over. It would have to be over Luca or Giannis if you were going to do that with Brunson. One of those.
I think
two
Brunson-
I
have
don't.
to-
I think
I
Brunson
don't
should have
think
been
I think
second.
Russell was fine at 2. I think it was fine at
Russell
2.
was second team.
Nah.
He's second team. He's second team. He
Yeah,
doesn't
but
have
KD
anything to be put
but why,
over.
but why would they put KD over Devin Booker? Who's really the better player? Is it really KD or is it Booker?
I mean,
KD's
that's what
regular
I'm saying.
season was like that. I'm not gonna lie. His
I mean,
regular
his-
season
but
was like
Booker's-
that.
He
it
was
better
a
than
better.
Booker's?
Booker was a better season, better player on the team.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't
that's
yeah.
what
think.
I
don't
was,
think that. I'm not near my other phone.
Well,
but I
if
don't
you
think
go if you
that's
go
the
based
case.
off the offense, Booker's the number 1 option. KD is the number 2 option.
Yeah, Booker's the number one option on that team.
Booker. They average the same amount of points per game. Kevin Durant averaged more rebounds. Booker averaged more assists. They both average the same amount of steals. Durant averaged more blocks. Booker has less turnovers, but Booker.
What's the advanced stats look like?
Let's go to the advanced metrics. If we go to VORP,
Just
it's
go to value over play. Let me see. Yeah,
Kevin Durant has it over him 4.3 to 3.1. Defensive win
Well,
win shares is Devin Booker though. Devin Booker has the win shares and he played less games. So that's
What
kind of
about win shares? Yeah, that's yeah, you're right with that. What about win shares for 48?
it's Devin Booker. Win shares per 48,
Yeah,
What
0.181.
about box plus
um,
minus?
Box plus minus is Kevin Durant. So Kevin Durant got
What
box
about
plus minus as well.
PER?
P. Okay, yeah, PER. PER is Devin Booker, 21.9 to
Well,
21.2.
that's skewed in itself. Then I ain't gonna lie.
Booker is the best player on that team.
Yeah,
But they put
So,
him on the
but
13. That's why
it's
I don't think Kawhi made the second team because of the seeding. I think Kawhi made the second team because again of the nostalgia of Kawhi Leonard. It's just these voters just vote to make sure that they don't sound stupid at the end. They don't vote for their own like their true belief. They just want to vote to see if they're gonna sound right. So putting Kawhi there just sounds good. But they've been tripping. Jaylen Brown's better than Kawhi Leonard.
I think he had a better year.
he had a better year.
Now Kawhi had a good year though. Don't get it confused. Kawhi did
I mean,
have a
he
good
have a
year.
bad. They put him on the
Yeah.
second team for a reason, but he didn't have a better season than Jaylen Brown.
They been hating on Jaylen Brown. I was telling Jaylen Brown was top 10 before the season started. People were making fun of me. Now all of a sudden he's better than Jason Tatum. I don't understand it.
I mean, I'm
Yeah, that's what they're saying. He's the best player on the team now.
I'm gonna be honest. A couple of years ago, I was saying in the playoffs, I felt Jaylen Brown was the better player in the playoffs, and I always got pushback on that. And when you're watching it again this year, you see, I feel like Jaylen Brown is the best player in the playoffs. I mean,
and
Ralph, you
Tatum's
remember that, Ralph?
inconsistent in the playoffs. He's
Yeah,
inconsistent.
you remember
in the
that, Ralph,
playoffs.
right? Ralph, you remember me going
What?
live on TikTok and telling people that Jaylen Brown was top 10 and everybody was trying to make fun of me when I was putting him and Anthony Edwards and Trae Young in my top 10, and everybody was like, "Yo, you crazy?" We did a whole show about it as well, but
I was in the chat when you were saying that.
And you also said LeBron wasn't top 5.
I know he wasn't. I didn't think the GOAT had it in him. I shouldn't have doubted the GOAT. I should never doubt the
I don't know
GOAT.
about the GOAT, but
Never doubt the GOAT.
You mean never LeBron?
I mean, so what would you say like now the season has concluded? What would you say is top 10 in the regular season?
Definitely ain't no Trae Young.
Right now,
Not Trae.
Yeah, Trae Young and Joel Embiid got knocked out of it, obviously, because they didn't play the 60-game minimum. But I still have Luka, I still have Tatum, I still have Joker, Giannis, SGA's in my top 5 now. LeBron's number 6. Then you can round it off with the Jaylen Brown, Anthony Edwards. Who's the other player?
You gonna put Anthony Davis in it this time? Or you still gonna leave him
Man,
out?
we not gonna disrespect my boy Brunson. We not gonna
Ralph,
do
you didn't let
that.
me finish. Ralph, you didn't let me finish. I was just about to tell
Brunson
you.
You named 10.
No, I didn't. I didn't get. I was at 9.
Brunson at 10.
I was just about to tell you what's it called because after Edwards and then it's Donovan Mitchell. Then you have Donovan Mitchell, and then you have Jalen Brunson.
In front of
AD's not in there.
No, AD's not top 15.
In front SGA
He's
is
definitely
not
top 10.
What?
Shout out to
He's
Zero.
definitely top 10.
Shout out
Second team.
AD's not. Listen. I think Bam is better than him. Don't even get me started.
Oh yeah. We already had this weird conversation with Johnny.
Let's go.
Shout
out to Zero. Shout out to Zero. Thank you for the love and
Anthony
support.
Davis don't get his respect because he playing to get.
Anthony Davis is
LeBron don't get his
Anthony
respect.
Davis is top 10. I'm not gonna lie.
Listen,
AD
Anthony
is the only
Davis.
player to have made an All NBA and All Defensive team this year, but he's not top 10.
Yeah.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
He was better than LeBron.
What?
Yeah.
What?
How do
Shea
you want
not
to slice
better
it?
Shea not better than Brunson?
The guy who can't score without.
Shay
somebody
is,
passing him
yeah.
the ball?
Shay is better than Brunson. I admit that.
I have Shay in my top 5.
Okay.
I think this season, I think Shay is top 3.
Kevin Durant,
Shea
Devin
was my
Booker,
MVP.
Stephen Curry. Who else can I put in there? I already know I put Bam there. Bam.
Hell no.
Who else? Who's
Yeah, I'm not even top 20.
Yeah. Then you can start. Then you can start adding players like Anthony Davis and them at the 15 and up marker. That's if you want to do
Nah,
that. I haven't
Anthony
really thought
Davis
about
is top
that
10,
guy
I ain't
there.
gonna lie.
That guy there is over for him. He better not hope LeBron James leaves the Lakers because then his career is over.
Yeah, LeBron is basically a free agent.
That man can't score, Ralph, without somebody giving him the ball. He can't defend outside of 10, 15 feet without getting cooked. The man is not that
What was
dude.
the purpose
His
of him?
on and off numbers is better as
Why
well.
did they want him in the
I don't care
first
about his
place?
on or off
Why did they
numbers.
want
He
Anthony
has
Davis
LeBron.
in the first place? What was he doing before he
Because-
got with the Lakers?
Because Anthony Davis is a great player. He will have a nice
He-
career.
he
He
by
was
the
top
end of his
10.
career.
He was top
But
10 this year.
he's on the decline. The NBA is going up. Players like Chet, Holmgren, and Wemby and all them are only going to get better, man. Listen, that is it for that guy, man. Guys
Was he
like
like
Karl
top
Anthony
10 in
Towns.
rebounding, top 5 in blocks, and still
he-
Well,
averaging over?
if you look at
Like-
value of replacement, Anthony Davis is 9th in the NBA. So
Top
he's
10, bro.
valuable to the Lakers. He's very valuable to the
Yeah,
Lakers.
he'll be valuable to the Lakers.
He's number 9.
Let's let the GOAT leave and see what happens.
Hold on. Where was LeBron at?
Okay.
Where was
LeBron
at?
number 7. Number 7.
They were
So
very
it's,
close in value over
Jokic
replacement.
number 1. Jokic
course.
number 1. Luka number 2. Then it's Giannis. Then it's Shea number 4. Sabonis is 5. The boy almost averaged a triple
So
double.
we're
Then
gonna
it's
put
Brunson is
Sabonis
6.
in the top 10. We're gonna put
Shout out
Sabonis
to
in the top
Brunson.
10 players?
Number
He's
6,
as
baby.
valuable to his team. He's
No,
as valuable as his
I
team.
didn't hear Kyrie Irving name. He's the most valuable.
Then it's
player
LeBron
still in the
7. Then it's Halliburton 8. Then it's Davis at 9. Then it's Tatum at 10.
Where's Kyrie Irving, man? He should be the.
Brunson is higher than Tatum.
20.
Brunson is
Kyrie
higher
Irving
than Tatum. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
because Brunson was way more valuable than Tatum was to his team, arguably, because he had no Julius
Yes.
Randle and he was carrying a bunch of like people who probably wouldn't even start to the
Oh,
playoffs.
we're not
Tatum's
gonna do
still
that.
high,
Don't
but
don't
Tatum's
disrespect
still
my
high.
team
You
now.
cannot say that
You
about
just
the
start
most
Steven
skilled
Kenzo?
Let me see where
Who had the most wins in
Kawhi
the-
Leonard's at.
Who had the most wins?
Oh,
in the-
he's
See
down.
where Kawhi Leonard.
He's probably like in the 20s.
Who had the most wins in the NBA this year? The
Oh,
Celtics.
Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Who was
they have
the
a
team?
well-rounded team.
They also
Yeah,
had
what?
the most. They had the most wins by 50 points in NBA history this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
They got a really, really good team. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
but
deny
so when
that.
you say that Brunson is more valuable than Tatum,
yes.
I mean, I don't see
Yeah.
what y'all seeing. I mean,
I guess he.
He was by
Tatum
himself
out that
and
team and
led the
replaced him.
team
I
for
don't
50
care. I
games.
don't care if you value yourself or not. The gap between the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed is at least 13 games.
Yeah, because
it was dog shit.
and then on top of that, and then you gotta look at the Boston Celtics. They were relatively healthy throughout the season. The Knicks wasn't. We were missing our 3 starters on top of rotational players, like throughout the whole season, and still
So you
able to
see
win
some-
50 games.
So you see
That's
something
remarkable.
changing. So you see something changing in that gap between the 1 seed and the 2 seed if they were fully healthy and for the full
Yes.
season?
Yes.
Would it turn to 10 games? I mean, stop.
Yes,
I mean,
I can see that gap because with OG Anunoby missing a lot of those games, when he was healthy, we were 25 and like 6.
and what
We
was
and
Boston-
then when
what was Boston?
with Julius Randle, Brunson, and OG, we only lost 2 games. We were on a winning streak when he got to our team, and then we started getting hurt,
Don't forget
and
about
that's what really hurt us.
And the Celtics
Bogdanovic.
still will have over.
And then
10
our anchor,
games.
and then you got to look at Mitchell Robinson missed 50 games, and that was our anchor of our defense.
That it doesn't.
We
change.
were hurt.
It
Yes.
doesn't change anything.
Oh
It
yeah.
doesn't change anything. Boston.
Let's
was-
talk about it when Boston faced the Knicks when OG was there. We smoked them. Let's talk about that.
So you want to talk?
They
about
were nowhere near. They were nowhere close to beating us in that game
Well, part of,
when OG was part of that team.
One of them
It
losses.
was rested. They already clinched the
Well,
season.
one
It
of
was
them losses
rested
the
players.
Knicks had. One of them losses the Knicks had during that time was to the Lakers. So the Lakers better than the Knicks.
Say that again.
So one of them losses during that time when they went 25-8 was to the Lakers. So if the Lakers
What game was that? OG played.
Yeah, OG played. It was after the
He
OG
played?
played.
All right, they got that dub. I'll give them that.
All right, so
I'm not. My argument is not saying
that.
the Knicks is better than Boston. I'm saying the reason why it was such a big gap. That's what I'm saying.
Now I'm just saying that everybody keeps saying that Brunson is better than Tatum. I don't see
Yeah.
it. I don't see it. When
He
I
ain't
see them
better
both,
than Tatum, but he was more valuable on the Knicks than Tatum was.
Yeah,
in the Celtics.
this year he was better than Tatum.
You take Brunson off that team, they're not winning 50 games.
All right, Yeah,
They're not making the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs.
You take Tatum off the
Boston,
Celtics, they
Boston was
still making
clearly
the
the number one
playoffs.
seed.
They're not a
Yeah,
six.
Like
easy.
Tatum, it's
But
kind of
they
hard.
But
still
to
making the
hold
playoffs.
on. With the whole season, if you're looking at the season right now, you look at the Knicks or how the way that went. If Brunson was off that team, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. You take Tatum off that team, they still making the playoffs.
What, they're
They won't be
AC?
the number one seed.
Yeah.
No, they won't. But if you
They
compare
won't
with
be
the
the
Knicks
best
and
team
the
in the. They won't be
Boston,
the,
the Knicks
the number
won't
one team in
even
the league.
sniff the playoffs.
They
They
won't
would
be the number
drop
one team in the league.
dramatically.
So
Huh?
you don't think
They won't be the number one team in the league, though.
No, they won't. They won't. I agree, Brandon. But they
Yeah,
will be around that 3 or 4 seed, even with Tatum off that team. You
So-
take Brunson off that team, they not making the playoffs
So
at all.
Brandon-
They probably be close to the bottom.
So
They'll be
Randall
a
don't make
lottery
them,
team.
their team a playoff team?
If he's not playing, he didn't play.
Hold on.
Got hurt.
Before what you call it even got to the team, we didn't even make the playoffs in. Before we added Brunson, we didn't make the playoffs.
What do you mean? The Knicks have been making the playoffs since 21. What are you talking
No.
about?
We missed that playoffs that one season. We missed the playoffs one season, and then when Brunson got on the team, we made the playoffs again. Because Julius Randle had a down year.
I could have swore Thibodeau made the playoffs every year with the Knicks.
Nah, we missed the playoffs one year.
Man, they've been saying get rid of Julius Randle for about 4 seasons now.
Because
man. What you doing?
after that season, when we played Atlanta in the first round and they beat us, the next year Julius Randle had a down year and we missed the playoffs. And then after that, that's when we added Jalen Brunson. We made the playoffs.
So they was a top 5 seed without Brunson, right? The year they lost to Atlanta.
To Atlanta, yeah, that year we were.
Yes. Julius
So
Randle
without
was
Brunson,
balling.
they was a top 5
That was
seed.
that's 2 years prior to having Brunson on the team. That's when Julius Randle made his first All NBA team. He made the 13.
So,
That was 2021, I think.
Yeah, you don't remember they lost to the Hawks and then everybody.
Yeah,
tried
that
to
was
get rid of
2022.
Randle had a terrible
2023.
playoff series. It was
No,
like, get
that's
rid of Randle.
2021. 2022, we missed the playoff. Last year we made the playoff. That's when we added hold on. We added
Right,
Brunson,
Yeah.
and then this year,
You're right, Rob.
So I
It's like the Knicks will still be a
still
playoff
think it's
team.
appropriate him being on the second team. I think he should have been on the second team.
Sound like the
Still.
Knicks will be a playoff team without.
Yeah, I
Brunson.
still think he should have been on the second team. But
Hell nah.
just like I said, the value of replacement, I guess Brunson was 7, not 6. LeBron was 6 for value of replacement, and LeBron was 6 in the NBA in PER, but he's on the third team. Kawhi Leonard was 12th in value of replacement and 10th in
Y'all say this
and
about
PR.
LeBron, and then when y'all put these,
where were they on win shares for 48,
and then
Brandon?
when people put this expectation on him, then y'all say he's 39, he's old, which I expect him to do. You can't say he's this and he's that, and then get mad when it's okay. He's this and that. He should have won the series.
But he
I
is
can't use
30.
that
he-
age
he
argument.
is
What about
39.
he is.
What about
he
win shares?
is.
What about win shares for 48, Brandon?
Win shares per 48. Where's LeBron? LeBron's 25th in the NBA. And Kawhi Leonard is 16th.
Right.
I don't
LeBron should have been
understand
on the
that.
second team.
If-
LeBron
if-
should have been on the second team, and Brunson should have been on the first team. Period.
Brunson. I don't know who you put Brunson over. I wouldn't put it over
Tatum.
Tatum because he had the best
That's the
record in the
problem.
league. It's kind of
Even
hard.
if you-
That's just how the voters gonna vote. You're the best player on the
But like,
best team in the league. You're gonna get that nod.
but that's crazy. It's like
Look-
if you look at the MVP voting, Brunson is ahead of Tatum, and if you even look at the advanced stats, what you was looking at between like with Kawhi and LeBron, if you look at Brunson and Tatum, Brunson got it over.
Yeah, Brunson was higher, and I think PR as well. Let me see, PER.
But all that is team
He was
based. You
7,
can't
and
use
Tatum
team based.
was.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same
Yes,
thing.
yeah,
Tatum was
that's the
14.
impact, Craig.
But
Ralph,
still,
I disagree
Yeah,
with
we,
you.
we
That's
already know
because you're the best
Brunson
player
is more
on that
valuable to his team, but it's kind of hard to put him as on the first team over Tatum because of he had the best record in the league, and he was the leading
Right.
player on the team.
I put-
What does
Like-
that mean?
That I can hear that argument, Brandon. I
Yeah,
can
like,
hear
that's
that
the only
argument.
reason. Like, that's
Brunson
the only
had to be
reason.
good.
Yeah.
Tatum didn't.
No,
He
but
was still good
that's
for his
the
team to win.
the problem is that's inconsistent too because there was years where players had the best record in the league and they didn't even make second team. What does that mean?
That's true.
Just
Also,
because his team had great
That means they're
success, that
inconsistent
justifies
with
his
voting.
individual impact?
I mean, that's
See,
how
that means
that
they're
is
that's
true.
inconsistent.
That is
that's one
true.
of the
With the
reasons why
vote.
LeBron's on the third team. That's just how the writers vote.
Wait, so LeBron, hold on. It's about team success, and yet LeBron is on the third team and AD's on the second team. Interesting. I didn't know they
That's what
played
I'm
for
saying.
different
It
teams.
makes no sense.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no
just how the
consistency.
writers vote. They vote by narratives.
Okay,
They vote by narratives. That's pretty obvious. That's
Well, we
okay.
know.
obvious.
Wait, but we know that Sturdy because what's it called? This guy Stephen A. Smith went legitimately on air saying Jalen Brunson should be the first team, but when he voted, he put him on the second team.
Yeah, it wasn't just him. It was
No, I know what I'm saying.
It
So
wasn't
we
just him.
know. So
Hold
we
on,
know
he
that
voted him on the second team.
Yeah, he
Yes,
voted
Yeah.
him on the second
he
team.
voted for him on the
He voted on
second
the second
team.
team. He said he should have been on the first team.
Matter of fact,
And
they
he said
argued.
over Luca. He said
Yeah,
over
they
Luka.
argued.
Nah, not
they
over
argued.
Luca.
No,
Not
wait,
over
they-
Luca. I ain't
He
gonna
should have
say that.
definitely been in there
Wait,
over
wait.
Luca. He should have been in there over Luca.
Kendrick Perkins,
He shouldn't have been over
him and
Luka.
Kendrick Perkins argued that Jason Tatum should have been higher in the MVP voting, and neither one of them had Jason Tatum in their top 5 voting.
You know
Right.
something? I don't even want to hear for Kendrick Perkins no more.
I'm
His
just
takes
saying,
been bad.
those guys
What fired him? That's why
are
he on a
narrative based.
tirade. He got fired.
But either way, it doesn't. I mean, it's hard to make the All NBA first team, especially now. There's just so much great talent. A lot of those guys could have been on the first team. You could have put LeBron on the first team if you really wanted to. If you really look at his numbers.
What's crazy
but-
about the first team?
I
don't know about all that. I don't know about all
LeBron
that.
was
Yeah,
more
I don't know
valuable
that.
to his
I
I
team
think
than
second
Tatum.
team. I think he got
LeBron was more
second,
valuable
not
to his
first.
team than Tatum. Just like
The
Brunson.
crazy
difference-
thing-
no,
Just
the
like
difference-
Brunson.
The difference
The
is
crazy
you
thing
got
about the
you
first
got
team is that I
Lucas.
don't think Tatum makes the first team if Embiid is healthy the whole season.
That's
So
true.
He definitely doesn't. He definitely doesn't.
So I mean,
No,
how do
because they
you put
probably
Brunson
they
in
would
that
have took
in the
Joker
first
down. They would have took Joker out like they did last year.
No, it's
No, it's positionless.
But they
Why
still
would-
did
why
it
would
by-
you take-
but they,
Yeah,
they
it's
No,
still
it's
did it by
positionless.
Yeah, it's positionless now. Nah, they would have took
Positionless.
Joke out.
But they still did it by position. They still put one
No,
big
no.
man on each team.
no the vote.
It doesn't matter. No, wrong. And I keep telling you that, Johnny.
don't matter
But it's
this year
positionless.
anymore. Yeah,
It's positionless.
this
Yeah,
year
because
it's
look at the all defensive. That's positionless.
Yeah.
You see
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah,
It's like
they did,
all
that's
of
what I'm
them with
saying.
that
They
big
did
man.
it.
This
They
year's
did it for the
different.
all defense. But if you go look at the all NBA team, they have 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a big man on all
Well,
the
the vote-
teams.
No, that's because out of this regular season, those 4 of those guys had some of the best seasons individually of the season. That's why. It's not because of positions. It's literally positionless. That's why.
I think Brunson
Giannis had a
a better
historical
year than
season.
Luka.
Joker had a great season. Luca had a dominant season. And Shea had an excellent season. Those four of those 5 guys had hands down top 4 seasons, regardless of position.
30-point game
Yeah,
this season.
Tatum would have been knocked out if Embiid finished the season.
Giannis don't have to
I'm
make the
Tatum
first
would've
team.
been
Why is Giannis making the first team?
Because Giannis had a historical season. Because being the first player.
Yeah,
Because being the first player to average 30 points or 60% field goal percentage in NBA history, give him that just for reason. Being a top 10 defender while doing that, put him in that conversation. Being
Yes.
the top 10 and rebounds, put him in that conversation, as well as being, I think him, LeBron are the only players that have this many seasons averaging.
players. 73 games. Giannis played 73 games, so it's not like he didn't play. Giannis was dominating.
No, I know.
He was
No,
dominating.
Like, come on,
I'm
bro.
not saying no. We're talking
Yeah,
about
he
the
was
Yeah,
records.
we
We're talking
can't
about
say Giannis.
no, because y'all were talking about records, but now y'all using stats. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's the
I mean,
point.
he
No.
had the third-
I'm
was he
saying
third?
records don't matter. It's all NBA team. It don't matter.
Okay, so if the records
Records
don't matter,
do
that's what I'm
matter.
saying. But
It do
we're
matter.
talking
Why,
about no.
if the
what I-
records
wait,
matter, why is Steph Curry on the All NBA team?
Again, y'all, the conversation started with whether they were voting it positionless. So the argument is here: is Jason Tatum better than Jalen Brunson? Because you could have put Brunson over Jason Tatum then if you're not going by record.
No, and that's not all NBA is. All NBA does not mean you're a better player. It means it's perceived you had the better individual season. That
That's
was what
I'm saying.
all NBA means.
Brunson had a better season than Jason Tatum.
I think we
Yeah.
added playoff.
So,
I do agree.
They don't
so why
believe
don't
he
you
did.
put
Oh,
3
we talking
guards?
about
So
playoffs.
why don't you put 3 guards on the first team?
It's not about guards. It's not about performances.
Again,
Mostly.
They still voted 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center on each team.
I'm gonna
That's the
say this.
number
I'm gonna say this again. Hey
Positionless,
Johnny. Hey
that's
Johnny.
what you're
I'm gonna say
talking
this
about. It's
again.
positionless.
I'm.
They didn't have
It's positionless, man. Look at
But
it. Look at
obviously
the.
they
they
didn't have
did though.
No, they did not. No, they did not.
We just look at the
the
It's
roster.
writers.
coincidence.
They
Like,
did it anyways. Like it doesn't matter what position they play. That's just how they voted. That's just how they voted. That's simple as
What
I'm
that.
was the
That's
sorry,
just
third
how they
team
like
voted.
again? It was Booker.
it was no,
No,
Booker was
no,
the first
third.
team.
No,
Yeah, that was
Booker,
what I'm saying.
second.
Third team.
Booker,
it was
Halliburton, LeBron James, it's
Sabonis.
Sabonis.
Steph.
Curry.
See, there's 3
And
guards.
Steph
And
There's
Curry.
3
Curry.
That's three
guards on the
guards.
third
That's
team.
three
That's what
guards
I'm
on the
saying.
third team.
That's what I was like. Hold on, wait a second. I could have sworn the third team had
Like it doesn't matter.
3
Yeah, it doesn't
guards.
matter,
It
man.
doesn't matter anymore.
Okay, all right. So you're right because so you're right there. So the third
Sabonis,
team they did.
Sabonis and Curry made all Bay teams, and they teams that made the playoffs. Come on, man.
But hold up, sturdy. The conversation started because they were talking about Brunson being over Tatum. I don't believe that should have happened. I don't believe Luka should have been All NBA first team. I think Brunson should have been in that spot because if we're
Wow.
going off of performance, in my opinion, he had a better performance. He carried the Knicks to the playoffs and a second seed in the East, and he was a higher seed than Luka and than Luka Doncic. I'm sorry.
He didn't have
Luka
his team
should
didn't have
been
his
first
team.
team.
His team didn't have more wins.
Luka should
If
have
somebody
been
double check
first
that.
team.
Yeah, we did
No,
have more wins.
not over
We did have more wins. We had 50 wins.
Okay, my bad. But I just want to correct it. Once again, it's about individual performance, there, Johnny. He did not have a better. He did not have better regular
Yeah,
season
I
than
think.
Brunson.
Yeah.
Luke, like,
Yeah,
come on, dog.
I
Like
think if you look at
Luka
Luka,
clears him in everything.
yeah, he's
Everything.
right. He's right about
Not this
that.
season.
He's right about that. Yeah.
What?
Luka did
Okay,
clear Brunson. I'm not
in
gonna lie.
everything.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
Luka
know,
did.
no,
I mean,
no.
even if you look at advance, yeah, Luka's above Brunson on every
That's what we
single
doing.
one. Like, yeah, he had a better
If we're
year.
going off of play, if we're going
34
off
and
of
10.
record,
That's what I
Look,
said.
look, average 34 and 10.
But he falls
had a
too.
better season.
Hold on, Luka led the league in scoring too. So
He
I
averaged
mean,
32
That's
and 10.
it.
He averaged 32 and
Luka
10.
had a better season than
He's
Brunson.
34.
My argument is against
Brunson
Tatum.
averaged like
I
31.
think he would have been over Tatum.
Brunson is a higher seed than him. Brunson averaged like 31 is a higher seed than him.
You
No,
keep
yeah.
bringing up seeding
28.
as if it's the
And it was
swing vote.
literally
It's not even a
carried his team.
swing. Seeding don't
There's no
swing that vote.
criteria.
Averaged 20, like 29 to
I'm
34,
talking about
and
after
less
Julius
assists, less
Randle went
rebounds.
down. After Julius Randle went down, Brunson was averaging like 31. He carried the Knicks.
So he was
Luka
averaging
the
lesser
whole
than
year,
Luka.
34.
So
for the
he was still averaging less than Luka. That what you're saying?
year.
Yeah, that's exactly
Man,
what I'm
Less
saying.
rebounds,
That's
less
why I
assists.
say over Tatum. I don't think about over
If
Luka now.
you're gonna put, you can't put Brunson over Tatum if he had the best record in the league. You can't.
It's not about team record.
Yes, it's about the individual. If you
That
look
plays
at the
a factor
metric,
into his
he
study,
clears
and you
he
know
clears
it.
Tatum
Game
in the
records,
metrics.
I
that
don't.
matters a lot to him.
I don't know because two guys make the team. They teams to make the playoffs. And then the last year, hold on. Last year when it was positioned, SGA made first team, his team to make the playoffs.
Didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I
he
tell
definitely
Like,
made
come
everybody.
on, bro. Like, what we talking about?
I tell everybody
Yeah.
that SGA made the first team last year, and their team didn't even make the playoffs at
Come
all.
on, man.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, if you look at the individual performance, Brunson performed better than Tatum. He did.
I'm not going.
That's what I was saying. I mean, that's what I was saying. I was saying if we're gonna do that, we can put him over Tatum. And not to say nothing, Tatum had a great year for me, but still,
Tatum had a great year. They asked him to
Jalen Brunson
scale
had
back.
a great year. And
They
this,
asked
but this
Tatum to
is
scale back
my
because of the team.
this is my thing though. This is my thing. Without Julius Randle, we don't see that from Jalen Brunson, and that's the thing. We only saw that from Jalen Brunson because they lost Randle. So that's another thing. That's why I'm saying like Jason Tatum's numbers are the way they are because they added another 20-point per game scorer to their roster. So he's not going to get 30 like he did last year, but he averaged 27 this year, which is still good.
No,
But,
but he needed
like,
to be. But Tatum needed to be more efficient. Typically, when teams get more help on the offensive end, their star players become more efficient, and Tatum didn't.
And
And that
Brunson
affects his
maintained
impact.
his efficiency. That's the thing. Brunson maintained his efficiency while elevating his game as well.
What are you talking about? He
Exactly.
shoots better this year than he did last year, and he did in any season. This is his best shooting season, Jason Tatum. What are you guys talking about?
What?
No, hold on. Let me see.
Yes, Jason Tatum shoots 47% from the field, 37.6, which is close to 38% from 3-point land. That's not his
Mhm.
best 3-point shooting season, but it's been his best since 2021.
What was it last
I,
year?
I have a question.
Last year it was 35%.
Okay, so his shoe shooting percentage is, like I said, his shoe shooting percentage did go down a little bit. And in
Yeah, but
regards
true
to
shooting
in
percentage
comparison to last year,
is your scoring efficiency. It's your score. That's
yeah,
your
that's
scoring
what I mean.
efficiency.
That's yeah, that's efficiency. Am I bugging?
No, I mean,
You
I have
you
a
I thought
question
you
though.
meant efficiency by field goal percentage, but it was 60.7 last year and it's 60.4 this year. It's not that much of a difference.
But like if you look at Brunson though, he elevated his scoring along with maintaining that efficiency that he had last year. If I'm told
No,
correctly, I think he might
I
have went
agree with
up.
you. No, I agree with you, Ralph. I agree with you. I've already told people that Brunson completely elevated his game. He's been averaging over 30 points per game since January, since February. So he's been
Exactly.
balling since then. If you've been paying attention to basketball, you would know Jalen Brunson has been balling and efficient at it too. Like you said, he's efficient as well. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying? But this thing about Jason Tatum, again, they added another 20 point per game score. That's what Porzingis is putting up this year for Boston. So they have 3 scores. This is why I always tell you guys, Jalen Brown's a good player because he has to play the second option and still balls out.
I don't know about top 10. You still ball. You still crazy with that one.
He's top
Yeah,
10,
I'm not
bro.
gonna
He's
lie.
top.
He's
Top
not even
ten, I
top.
don't
You
He's
think
got
not even
top
top
wait,
10.
15.
wait.
He's
Hey,
not even top
Sturdy,
15.
we got people saying he's better than Tatum now. What are you talking about?
No, they do that to troll Tatum. Everybody knows Tatum is way better than
That's
No, no,
Kirk.
that was
Kirk was
me.
saying that.
I said in the playoffs, I believe Jalen Brown plays better than Tatum in the playoffs.
And as you can see, and respectfully, as you can see, King John does wear glasses. So you know what I'm saying. Like all I'm saying is, everyone knows that Tatum, Tatum, Tatum is better than
That means I
Brown,
can
though.
really see what's
Hold
going
on, hold
on.
on. Tatum that first round was not like that though. I ain't
And
gonna
not in
lie.
the
No, he
second
wasn't.
round
He
either.
definitely wasn't.
He wasn't.
And not in
He
the
definitely
second
wasn't.
round either. So
But Jalen
He
Brown's
definitely
been
wasn't.
consistent throughout the playoffs. I'm not gonna lie. He's been more consistent
So
than
real quick,
Tatum
Huh?
in these playoffs so
Yeah,
far.
this year, yeah,
But
this year.
wait
I
a
give you
minute. But that's what they told me I was crazy about because they were talking about Jalen Brown in the playoffs. Because again, they were talking about him versus the Heat. When I keep trying to explain to people, you cannot do that. You have to
When
look at
they
these
spanked
players.
your damn Heat.
hey, and
No, we
Naismith
beat
Nah,
them
you're still
last year.
crazy.
We
Nah,
beat
Johnny,
them
you still
last
crazy
year.
though.
Naismith
We
is
That's
beat
all
them
playing
right.
last year.
Tatum.
Ralph,
You still
Ralph,
crazy.
we
Playoffs
beat them
on
last
Tatum.
year, Ralph. We beat them last year. That's what I'm saying. We was in the finals.
We
Hello,
talking
sir.
about this year.
No, this year again. Yeah, they're a better team this year. They added some players.
They might
Y'all
get
see
their
what Drew
18th
Holiday did last
championship
night.
before LA does.
Hold on. We're not gonna act like Porzingis was shit in that series. He was terrible.
Porzingis is a baller though, man. He's gonna and when he comes
He's
back,
not
they're
good
only
in
gonna
the
be better.
playoffs. He's
Oh
not good
my
in the
God, here
playoffs. He
we
only
go.
had
Here we
one
go.
good series, and that was 2020.
Oh my
After that,
goodness.
he has not been good in the playoffs. That in 2021
Here
he
we go.
wasn't good. He was not good in this playoff series.
I'm sorry,
hey,
Ralph,
hey
but he
Brandon.
never made the playoffs in New York, did he?
Nah, he got hurt. He got hurt.
Oh, he did get hurt.
That's where they.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Well, you know what? We have hold
He
on.
made the
What's
All-Star.
the call's been? Paul has been very patient. Paul, thanks for being patient, man. We ain't get your take in. We've been running off a little bit, talking about these guys and where they're going to be ranked next year. We can do that another show. We were talking the greatest scores ever, 40,000, 10 scoring titles. What's your take on the idea of scoring titles or the 40,000 points being scored?
I think the
Yeah.
40,000 points are more impressive because
Okay.
you are the all-time leading scorer. Okay, you don't lead like you lead in scoring in a season. Okay, you score the league in an entire season, but it's more impressive to score every player all time in your career, like in history. That makes sense.
No, I got you. No, we understand. I mean, again, we did put the poll in the vote here, and the votes are there's over 78 votes, and we got 72% saying 40,000 points is the more accomplishment, which is the greater accomplishment over 10 scoring titles. I mean, 10 scoring titles is great. Not gonna take that away from Mike, but it only
Also,
takes 10
I mean,
years to do it.
If you go to the playoffs, you will see LeBron led the playoffs 6 times in scoring.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I mean,
Hold on, say that again.
well, I mean, in the playoffs,
Now that Jordan
LeBron,
or alley oop for somebody say how much Jordan did it in the playoffs.
Yeah,
No,
we're not
Jordan
gonna
did
go
it.
there.
Jordan did it 10
Jordan
times
did.
by scoring and 11 times by total points. But I didn't know
I got
LeBron
a
James
great
done
question.
it in the playoffs as well. But go ahead, Twin
I
Man.
have a great question.
Yeah, for the
Was it
playoffs,
easy for
Jordan
was
led
it
8 times.
Oh, it's eight.
No,
so
no, it was
I
LeBron
10.
believe 40,000
It was 10 in the
so I
playoffs.
believe
It's
40,000
8 in the
points is
playoffs.
clearly better than 10 scoring titles. Simply for this point.
You talking about
Jordan
per
was
game or
easily
total?
able to get 10 scoring titles against weak ass scorers in a weak ass league. Let's be
Oh
real.
my
Jordan really
god.
didn't have any competition for these scoring titles.
Oh
That is
my
Yet
god.
Carmelo
I
is
mean,
number 3 with 0 scoring titles.
He didn't. He
I mean,
really
But
didn't.
Carmelo
He
is
didn't
number
have
3 all-time
have
scorer,
any competition in
36,000
the
with
90s.
0
How
scoring
many
titles.
30 point a game scorers today and how many in the 90s? How many
One
20
in the
point
The
90s.
scorers
pace is much higher.
and how
The
many in the
pace is
One in
90s?
the
much
90s.
higher now.
Stop it.
The
You
pace
didn't
is
have
higher
scorers
now
like
than
that
it
in the
was.
90s.
That
You
is
didn't
Nah,
have
a
him like that in
that's a
the 80s.
bad
Jordan was
argument.
able to take advantage. He was the most athletic and he was the most skilled. Jordan would never be able to get 10 scoring titles today, period. He wouldn't.
well, I won't go that far. There was
I'm
some
going
elite
that far,
scores
sir.
Okay.
during
Oh,
there was
we
some
missed
elite
out.
scores during Jordan's
Scores now?
prime.
Is there more
Wait,
elite scores now or then, Sturdy?
No, that's
we
not what
missed
you
out.
said.
Oh
That's not what
wait,
you said.
we missed out on New World. I'm
Exactly what I
sorry.
said. There's more elite
My fault. My
scores
fault.
now.
We didn't. Oh no, wait. We didn't get New World's take
But
on this. My bad, New World. I didn't see you
LeBron
in the
passed
channel.
them all those same bum scorers. He passed them in scoring too. So how impressive is that?
Well, that's a horrible response too.
see,
But let New World
Right.
get his thing.
New World. Go ahead, get in New World.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Shout out to GJK as always, y'all. Y'all doing y'all thing. I wanted to give my take on this. Both are impressive. For various reasons. I think a lot of people what they don't realize when they try to discredit the 40,000 points as a longevity achievement, getting 10 scoring titles is also a longevity achievement. Like getting more of 3 of something requires longevity. It requires you to be great consistently. So, it's just a dumb argument to just try to dismiss it as something that it takes longevity to do when it's the same for 10 scoring titles. Another reason why I think the 40,000 points is more impressive is because it's actually mentally taxing to have to play for 20 years and be that consistent. Like a lot of people, LeBron makes it look easy. So, a lot of people, they don't give it the credit that it's due. But, when you look at the totality of scores in NBA history, um, you got Wilt Chamberlain with the 7 scoring titles. Like scoring titles, that's something that you have to have a mentality to get. Because I agree with Sturdy, that's not quite as difficult to achieve. If you have the mentality to go out there and be like, I'm going to shoot 30 shots a night, but you actually have the ability, like if Luka, for example, decided that he wanted to win the scoring title every year, he probably could do that. But trying to get 40,000 points is another matter altogether. Like he probably wouldn't be able to together a run to get to that. But he could definitely win 10 scoring titles. Same with Joel Embiid. Same with, KD in his prime could have probably went for it if he had the mentality to. But it's really all about mentality. Jordan wanted those scoring titles because he was going to get paid money. Through the accolades that he was getting. Like his sponsors were like, "Hey, if you go out and do this, you're gonna get a check." And it was a lot harder for NBA players in that era to get big contracts from their organizations. So they had to go and get it out the mud in another way. That's why you have, it's on record Jordan going to the scorers table and stat watching, and that's because he wanted to qualify for these awards that were available during his time. So it's about a mentality, man. But you can't get 40,000, just off of some average mentality. It takes mentality as well, but your body also has to be able to put up with that kind of grind.
Everybody go to the scores table to look
Hey,
at
hey,
this.
hey, New World, I love
That's
your
true.
longevity point because I've always asked people at what year do you have longevity starts at, and nobody ever answered that question. It's like at what year? When the average NBA career is 4 years. If an average
Exactly.
NBA career is 4 years, that means,
That's
after
why
that
I
is
don't say
longevity.
longevity. I just say play more games.
I mean, playing
Yeah.
more games is irrelevant because it's
It is.
about it's about consistency. If you
It-
win an award more than 3 times, then that means you were
Playing more games
consistent.
at a high
That takes
level.
longevity. Like to
I'm talking
winning
about
3 championships, winning 4 championships, that takes longevity. You're not going to be able to do that your first 4 years in the league, unless you were somehow drafted on the Shaq and Kobe's team during that three-peat. You're not going to win just 3 championships straight away, especially if you're the leader of the team. Like it takes longevity, it takes grind, it takes work. So, you can't just discount that when it comes to trying to prop up some awards that people have over others. Like Jordan wouldn't have all those all defensive teams if it wasn't for his defensive longevity and being able to maintain that peak for a long time. You have to give Jordan his props for longevity as well. But a lot of people think Jordan didn't have longevity. I get he didn't play 10 years consecutively, but to still be able to have the statistical output that he did for as long as he did, it deserves a lot of recognition, a lot more recognition than it gets, in my opinion.
But that's the point, right? Because again, to have 10 scoring titles, whether it took 30 points or 28 points per game or whatever it took Jordan to get the 10 scoring titles, that's a great accomplishment. You have to be great for a very long time. 10 straight seasons at doing that is great. The difference is that the other one takes 20 years. No one will be able to accomplish
Exactly.
either. No one's going to really accomplish either one of these feats. These are going to be unbroken records. I don't see anybody reaching 40,000 points. I mean, it may be in another 40 years, again, possible.
And we said the same about Kareem.
And it took 38 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It took a
almost
long.
40 years.
Yeah,
We might
it's
not see it, and we not be alive to see it, but somebody will get more than 10 scoring titles. Somebody will score more than 40,000 times. We might not be alive to see it.
I can see somebody definitely breaking the scoring title thing before they break 40,000 points.
Nah.
I actually think
Yeah, it's because you need to have a body that's not going to get injured for a good like LeBron didn't start getting hurt in
You
his
have to have
career
somebody
until about
play
year
20
18.
years.
Yeah,
You got to
17,
play
18,
20.
yeah.
You have to play 20 years at elite level.
Yeah, you got to go through that whole time with hardly any injuries, and LeBron was averaging over 70 games a year too. So you got to play all those games. You got to be averaging over 20, 30 points at this rate. But it's just really hard to like the toll on your body, man. Like going out and scoring 30 is not easy in the NBA, especially if you're that good. You see how these players be doing everything that they can to try to stop these guys. You saw when Kawhi was on the tear in 2017, that dirty play that was put out there to try to stop him from dominating. Players are gonna experience that shit, and it takes luck, man, to be able to pull through situations like that where your career could just be over or your season could end because somebody was jealous of your talent. Like you gotta like that's stuff that people gotta watch out for. So LeBron was very blessed to be able to get as far as he did in his career without any kind of major injury, at least until he got to the Lakers. But even then, you can't really call that like he's got like arthritic ankles. That's not like a major injury. It's not like a season-ending injury that it's like, oh shit, like he's tapped out for like the rest of these 50 or so games. Like it's not going to be like LeBron's never had an injury like that.
Jordan broke his foot.
disagree,
Next year, I'm averaging
I think it's
37. Like,
easier.
come on, man.
I think it's easier. I think it's
In the
easier for
80s.
players now to get to 30 points. They're more skilled. They shoot better in this league. So no, I disagree with that. There's the elite scoring we see in this league today is just impressive. And I see you shaking your head. I see you shaking your head, Travis. I'm sorry. Today's league is more skilled. They shoot better. Jordan didn't have this type of scoring competition back in the 90s. He wouldn't have never gotten that scoring
But that's
title.
why nobody's gonna get.
Well, that's
10,
why I don't
though.
push back.
But that's
No,
why
I wanna-
nobody's
I'll
gonna
holler
get
at y'all
10.
later.
Yeah,
All right, Ralph. Thanks for joining us.
All right, Ralph.
But can I push back
Y'all
against
check
that
out
though?
Ralph.
Like we can't do that. Like during
It's a
majority of Jordan's prime, I'm about to say it. Majority of Jordan's prime, there were elite scores during that time. Dominique Wilkins was having elite seasons during that time. Shaq, Malone, David Robinson, they were having elite scores at that time. They weren't necessarily dominant perimeter. They didn't come from the perimeter in comparison to other eras, but they were still elite scores in their own route. In my opinion, I'm not necessarily saying it's
Said
just because you
Malone?
can average 30. No, I'm saying just because Malone. Yes, Malone was having great. Yes, dominant. Yes.
I'm not even disagreeing with the names you're saying. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with the names you're saying, Sturdy.
I said
Give me some more,
Malone.
though.
I said Malone, Shaq. I said Malone, Shaq, Dominique, and David Robinson.
Sturdy,
My
like
Game time.
you guys are both right. It's really just the shot attempts. Like Jordan led the
Yeah,
league in shot
that's
attempts,
exactly what I was going to say.
and
That's
and
exactly what I
most of
was going
those
to say.
players, yeah, most of those players, they're not volume scorers.
Yeah,
They're very efficient, and they get their points
that's
off of efficiency more than they do
no,
volume.
and that's what I'm going to say. Like in today's era, right? You can't just get 30 points and then lead the league in scoring because there's more elite scoring talent in combination with the rules.
Exactly. It's gonna be
So,
harder. It's gonna be harder.
in my opinion, both circumstances to accumulate 10 scoring titles in today's era or to get 40,000 points at any point you're gonna have the right circumstances. I think it's harder for the 40,000 because there's more variables you have to deal with just to be available enough to accumulate those points. As for the scoring titles, the difficulties is that, especially for today's era, is other elite scores. It ain't gonna be 30 points per game. SGA had 30 points per game in the beginning of the season. He was not even a top three scorer. You're gonna have to amp it up in today's game, and that's why, in my opinion, in comparison, those two, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be the 10 scoring titles is easier in regards because I think the circumstances for you to end up on a team that's going to require you to score that much is more higher than opposed to you be able to be that healthy for that certain amount of years to accumulate 40,000.
It's crazy.
I think it's going to be harder to get 10 scoring titles. Simple as that, because Jordan was winning scoring titles, averaging 30, less than 32 points a game. For most of his career, he didn't average over 32 points a game. And players now, they're averaging over 32 points when they're not even the scoring leader. So Jordan was winning scoring titles at 28 points per game.
It's gonna be tougher to do that. Yeah, it's gonna be.
It's going to be tough because these players are averaging 36, 34. Like they're averaging way more than Jordan average. So it's going to be harder to get 10 scoring titles.
And it's going to be hard for them to do it consistently as well.
There's nobody winning scoring titles anymore averaging 28 points per game or 26 points per game.
That's the early 2000s. That's the early 2000s when they won the scoring title averaging.
That's not even the early 2000s. That's not the early 2000s. That's the 2010s. No, that's the 2010s.
No, but there's more, and there's more defensive strategies nowadays to keep you from being
Jordan
that
had a
dominant for
scoring
that
title
long.
in '98, averaging 28.
Like,
So
yeah,
how really?
Look at the four scoring titles.
10 scoring titles against that weak ass scoring competition.
No, but hold on. We're not doing that. Hold on. But hold on, man, we can't do that because that's disingenuous.
Hold on, Sturdy. I'm comparing today's
Disingenuous.
NBA to back to the
6,
90s,
7,
bro.
8,
It's
9.
not even comparable. It's not.
It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about. I'm about to explain it to you.
Jordan
played to me is overinflated.
seasons. Yeah, Jordan played 15 seasons. 9 of those seasons, he averaged less than 32 points per game. So
why is it 32? Like that's why 32?
Players average more than 32 to win scoring titles.
No. How many players? Hold on. Let's play this game. How many players average 32 points per game this season?
only one.
I have no idea, but I know Luka averaged.
That's the point. No more than two players. It was Embiid and Luka.
Jordan would not have won a scoring title there. He still would not have won if somebody.
No, but that's y'all being disingenuous because y'all crossing. I'm about to explain it.
Embiid 33 this year.
This is why I said that
y'all
James Harden 34. James Harden 36.
This is the thing though. The 1980s Jordan is not taking 20 shots per game, bro. He's not getting no shots. He's not going to be able to score like that. He's going to be bad. It's not going to be good for him.
It's hypothetical now.
But y'all can't. No, hold
on. It's not hypothetical. It's not hypothetical.
It's just averaging more. They're just averaging more.
No, but what you're doing, you're blending. You're blending seasons. You're blending seasons. That's not how it works. Each individual season is its own season. For example, Twin Man, I'm not going to discredit anyone's talent who they played with or against because look at the averages. KD averaged for a majority of his scoring titles. It wasn't no 29. It was from 27, 28, 132, and 128. It's all encompassed on that individual season. So it don't matter what a person did for a different season or a different era. It's all encompassed on that individual season. So while I'm simply saying we can't blend those type of individual seasons without taking account the conditions of that player on their team in that season.
Yeah.
It's not the
Also,
same. It's not a consistent logic.
yeah. Also, keep in mind what you're forgetting here is that you have to factor in what the pace of play was. Like you're talking about the '90s, right?
No, I
When in fact
disagree.
there were at least 20 plus points or 20 players just offhand who were scoring at least 20 points per game on like 40% or better efficiency. They could have easily scored upper 30s, but that wasn't their team composition. You look at a lot of those teams, and even though they were only having about 90 possessions per game, they were still like you'd still see like four, five, six people in double figures because the ball movement was I'd say as equal to what it is today as far as like sharing the rock. And it wasn't just one player, like obviously maybe Mike's the exception. But even if you go to the early 2000s, where I'd argue they had way better ISO players and like, or at least on par with what today as far as like volume scores, you still saw the same numbers. The shot attempts were down, but the efficiency
That's a little
was a B
disingenuous,
plus.
Travis, right there.
No, it's not.
I would say.
How is it?
Yeah,
Because you saw the
because
pace of play went down even further in the early 2000s. It
yeah,
was
the
like,
pace.
yes, you got to factor that in. It's not that these people couldn't score or didn't, or like they just weren't as capable as today's players.
God, bro.
The game
Like,
is
yeah,
completely different.
yeah.
It's a
Like
bit.
I'm
you
looking
talk
I
at
about the top 10
understand your
players in
argument.
scoring today. They're all taking like at least 5 or 6 extra threes. It's just how the game is played today. It's not that they weren't capable.
I understand your argument, but it's just that the rules imply because it's like we're mixing two different things. I'm not going to try to diminish Jordan's scoring titles, but it's like when you
Well, I don't
you
care about the
add in
score
the
titles.
pace
I'm
of.
saying that you can't say that he had no competition because that's just a casual ass
he
argument.
didn't.
I'm not
It
going to
is
It
no
is.
casual ass
That's what
argument.
You're
Toy
It's
saying
Man's
not.
his
saying. That's just
competition
what Toy
were
Man's saying. He's just
his
saying
yeah,
that
his
they didn't have the
competition was
score.
interested in
They didn't have the scores
Competition.
like they have today. That's all he's saying. They didn't have the
okay.
scores like they did today.
Disagree.
And I'm saying,
Charles
yeah,
Barkley could have easily averaged 32, like fucking 35 points a game. He was shooting 33% for the
But
majority of
that
his career. He
wasn't
was
his
only
Charles
averaging
game though.
Barkley,
16 points
His
a game
game
or
okay,
wasn't
16 points a game.
predicated on volume scoring. His
not
game was
off
mostly
energy.
dedicated off of playing out of the post. Charles Barkley would not have been able to win
Okay, no
multiple
way.
scoring titles in the '90s
He
just
didn't have
based off his
he
play
didn't have the
style.
energy to do that. He didn't have the
Exactly.
energy to do that.
His
He was out of
competition
shape
wasn't interested in
most of his
taking
career.
25 shots a game. That's
He was
it.
out of shape most of his
Yeah,
career. There's no
that's
way
what
in
I'm
the world he's
talking
gonna average
about.
30.
Like in this era, Travis, there are a lot more players that are interested in winning a scoring title, even if it's just one. They might not have the obsession to be like Jordan and be like, "Oh, I'm going to win the scoring title every year," because that's what Jordan came in to do. You know, he came in to score points. Like that was what he wanted. But you know, in today's era, you're definitely having a lot more competition over the scoring title just because the number of volume shooters in this era is incomparable, especially with the use of
That's
the
what I'm
3 point
saying.
line.
I don't understand why
They
he's
could
saying that's a
you could
bad
say
thing.
that everybody in the
How is
'90s who
that
was
a bad
shooting
thing?
25 shots a game, but they're not using the 3 point line. So compared to the players taking 25 shots a game in this era that can actually shoot the three, the point output is going to be a lot. Is going to be a
I
lot
hate.
superior.
I want to add
Yeah,
to. I hate when people use pace of play compared to the '90s and compared to like 2010s and stuff, or 2000s or whatever. It's like the thing is that a guy like Kobe Bryant, for example, or Tracy McGrady, it's the rules were implied were able to fit a player like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant in the '90s to be able to score more points one on one, more isolation in the post or whatever. When you're talking about the illegal defense, like everybody else, the thing is that if they had those rules today, everybody else numbers would be terrible on a team. You wouldn't have your second, your two and three or third option averaging 20 or 18 points because all the shot attempts will be going to one player, and so that's why it's like it's like I hate when
No,
people
you're mixing the triangle with '90s
no,
defense.
I'm
Like
not.
that,
I'm
the
not
No, he
mixing
triangle
the
was on point.
triangle.
specifically
He
does
was on
that.
point. No, he was
No,
on point.
I'm not
I
mixing the
mean,
triangle. It has nothing to do with the
players
triangle.
could have shot more, scored
No,
more. It was just coaching. That's just how they coach the game.
it was the
They
coach.
coach the game that way.
It
They
was
coach the
Right.
game
coaching
that way.
as well as it was coaching, but also those two specific guys, AI, Kobe, Jordan, they was having multiple seasons averaging 30 during those slow paced era because look at the situation on their teams. I'm not that's the and I was more so alluding to Twin Man comments by segueing to this aspect. There's more talented offensive players than to say there's just simply more better scores because in each individual era, each score is relegated to the rules and pace of that era. Just because Shaq didn't average 30 points per game in the regular season don't mean he wasn't capable of doing it. It's because majority of his career, the pace was too slow enough in teams he had didn't require him to average that many field goal attempts to get 30 points per game. Don't mean he couldn't do it.
What I was saying though is that when you you comparing the pace, it's like you compare a team and the pace, that's different. Like you can compare the pace for like the team, but then when we're talking about individual players and the scoring capabilities, it's completely different. It's like if you had a slower pace and you allow a player like Tracy McGrady in the 2000s to be able to shoot 28 shots or something like that, I'm sure he'll be able to average 35 points, and he only has one defender he has to go by. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like a mixture of different things. See, like when you're talking about a pace for like team, you're going to have more double digit scores. You're going to have your third option averaging 17 points a game. But when you're having you say, oh, the pace is slow. Yeah, because like a lot of teams were benefiting off of those rules. You had guys like Karl Malone, they was always feeding him the ball, Utah Jazz, when he was on the post all the time, and he was getting a lot of those points doing that. Like Jordan was scoring a lot of points in the 80s off of the like good pace, right? But at the same time, like he also benefited from the 90s being able to shoot most of the shots. And that's what someone like a Kobe Bryant, a Kevin Durant will be able to do if they benefit, while it would diminish other people's numbers. So it's just like, I hate when people kind of compare the pace of basketball. That's all I was saying there.
No, the pace matters, but I was saying another thing. I was implying, what I was implying was a team situation. Jordan was fortunate enough to get those scoring titles because his team was built around guys that didn't need the ball to be impactful on this game. Same thing for Kobe. Kobe was able to get, and that's what I'm saying. That's team situation. Regardless of like, pace is a major factor, but you simply put, you got to get the shots up on your team. If your team's not talented enough for to give you a reason not to score a lot, you're going to score more. That's one of the reasons why Luka. That's one of the reasons why Luka averaged 33 points per game this year, because his teams were dealing with injuries, so he had to pick the scoring up.
Yeah, but Kyrie Irving is averaging what, like 25 points a game or something like that. See,
but
like
Kyrie didn't play all majority of the season. He only played 57 games.
All right, but today's game though, like you can't have your second option scoring only 11 points a game or something like that. So that's why I'm saying like you can't give somebody the
because
ball.
It would be impossible because again they're taking 20 more possessions. They have 20 more possessions per game.
Right.
Your
so that's what I'm saying.
Comparing
the pace of an individual player is like, that's what I'm saying. It's a little bit absurd when we're comparing.
No, it's not, because you got to look at the situations that they're in. It's not absurd at all. You take someone like Glenn Rice, right? He would have probably been a 27, 20 because his skill set lines up with today, and he would have had 10 more shots a game when he shot like 47%.
That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all. These guys don't have that skill set. Listen, in today's NBA, the guys who took the most shots are Luka Doncic. Nobody had that kind of skill set in the 80s or 90s. Then you're talking about Jalen Brunson, De'Aaron Fox, and Tyrese Maxey. These are the guys that all average 20 shots per game. These are guys with true skills that can score and shoot off the dribble. Glenn Rice can't shoot off the dribble like that.
True skills? There were tons of people doing that. What are you talking about?
No, there wasn't.
Oh, my God.
In the 80s and 90s?
Such a clown show, dude. You're just.
This is not.
You want me to go down the line? Do you want me to go down the line? The most shot attempts.
Let's not sit here and act like people had skill like that back in the 80s and 90s.
Hold on, wait. Glenn Rice needs somebody to get him the ball. Glenn Rice needs somebody to get him the ball to score. Luka does it. Brunson does it.
What?
Fox does it.
You're saying Glenn Rice does
bullshit.
Yes. That means you never watched the games.
I did watch the games. I know for a fact that the man ran around screens and stuff like that. He wasn't just ISO ball. Like, there wasn't that many guys you could just ISO on one side of the floor and say, yo, go score for me. In the 90s and the 80s. What are y'all talking about? All you guys are doing
is being so desperate to lift up LeBron's era.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to take away.
I can answer that better for you guys. Yes, we are, because this is the greatest era. This is the problem with the GOAT debate. You guys do not want to continually appreciate what's coming forth in front of your eyes.
What are you talking about?
The greatness of today is just great. It has nothing to do with LeBron.
All we do is glaze this era, and we don't do anything else. We don't need to discredit anyone else, though.
Wait. I'm counting 38 20-point per game scores. You're going to tell me that's all due to just the pace?
Of course.
No, because
No, that's one. That's one. That's
false.
one variable.
Wait,
That's one variable.
The
That's one variable.
The 80s had a higher pace than today's
Yes.
NBA. Why didn't they have a bunch of 30-point per game
And that's
scores?
and that's what I'm trying to explain it.
Scores?
And that's what
Okay.
I'm trying to say. There's more than one variable. It ain't just one. It ain't black and white. There's multiple variables that contribute to this. It ain't just skill, Johnny. It ain't just pace, T Perfect. There's also situation. It's coaching. It's teammates. It's the talent in the overall league. It's the rules. It's so many variables. It ain't just black and white like that.
They will say
I'm not. And I ain't say that either. But even then, there was no defense like that in the A's like that. But that's not the point. The point is though, is like there's so many variables in regards to determining great scoring season by season. So I'm with T Perfect at this standpoint. That's why I don't discredit players regardless of the era they played in, and that's why I don't play the hypothetical game because when you play the hypothetical game, it's never objective. Be honest with you.
All right.
That's
In
what
in 1986, the pace of the NBA was 102 possessions per game.
Yeah, it was high. It was high.
It's higher than today. They had 25 players average 20 points per game or more.
Yeah, they were also fewer players in the league then.
Fewer teams.
Yeah, that's it. No, but there's multiple. Hey, John, this is multiple factors. Like in Tarasu, there's multiple factors. They ain't just pace either. Y'all going? Hey, John just saying skill. And Travis saying pace. There's other factors besides that, and
There's
y'all
a lot
both
of
got to
other
like
factors
tighten up
besides
on
that. Efficiency is the main thing. You look at people like all these play. You could take at least the 15 players, right? Their efficiency is going to line up, generally speaking, with errors across whatever you want to name it. It's not that they weren't skilled. It's exactly like Sturdy said. The situation, the coaching, their scheme. It wasn't like one guy is shooting 12 threes. Again, are players skilled today? Fantastic. Are they deeper today? 1 through 12, of course. But of course, again, you're seeing a higher points per game average because of the way the game is played and the pace. There's multiple factors going in. It's not that this team is way better, from top to bottom than this team. It's not that simple. And to say it is just a hugely casual take.
pace of play
It is that simple. When you have someone like Nimhard going off for 30 points per game in a playoff game that you don't even know who this guy is. This guy, you guys.
Oh, that happens sometimes. That happens.
No,
sometimes.
it don't. No, I've been watching basketball for 30 years. I've never seen this.
So Sam Cassell then dropped 30 as a rookie in the finals in the 90s. It happens. Role players. I can point out multiple games in playoffs where role players just have once in a lifetime performances. That's not indicative of the entire era, Johnny. It's not. Rex Chapman dropped 50. That don't mean it's not indicative, bro.
No.
Hold on. What's that brother name? What's the brother name for this shit? Damn, I forgot. No, I'm saying role players having once in a lifetime performances. It's not an indictment of the era, Johnny. That's all I'm saying.
You have more role players doing it now than then. That's the point.
I'm not tracking role players scoring 50.
No, but I'm tracking the NBA. I'm tracking this because this is the problem. This is why GOAT James Kingdom exists, because we can't appreciate today's NBA. We have to talk about players and their negativities to keep talking about the 90s as if there was no flaws in the 90s and the 80s.
Oh, I'm not doing that either.
No, but that's the point. Today's NBA is great. Not to diminish the 90s. It's just better. They're just better players across the board. They're more skilled. They can shoot. These guys didn't diminish three-point shooting. The guys like Glenn Rice had one skill set. They were good shooters, catch and shoot guys. If they could shoot off the dribble, okay, but nobody was drawing up plays for them to pick and roll, run around screen. They couldn't dribble the ball. I watched Reggie Miller have to look down to dribble for a layup on a fast break.
Klay Thompson ain't no good.
I wanted to add to the topic though. I just Googled
better dribbling than them dudes.
I just Googled the greatest scorer in NBA history, and it shows up LeBron James. End of debate.
It's not even about the debate, man.
Greatest play all time. Come on, Sturdy.
It's not about the debate, man.
This is my problem. I understand, Sturdy. I understand you don't like my take. I understand you don't like my take.
That's not it. That's not
honestly, I really feel like people don't understand my take. I'm looking at the number one options back then, and I'm looking at the number one options now. Then I'm looking at the second, third, and even fourth options on the teams back then and now, and it's just night and day. It's really night and day. And when I sat here and said Jordan really didn't have competition for the scoring titles, it's because he really didn't. To me, the greatest threat to Jordan for a scoring title was maybe Clyde Drexler. Maybe.
But why are you
being honest?
But why are you dismissing Dominique elite scoring years though? Same thing for Shaq. Like those guys weren't
If Jordan wasn't
like
in the league,
Carmelo.
Dominique, no, because Dominique's elite scoring years was in the
It was in
late
the
80s
80s.
and
In the 80s,
then
right?
there was in the early 90s.
No,
like
that's
early
why
91,
that's why
92.
exactly early. That's why I said Jordan's prime. I
Yeah.
ain't say strictly decade of '90s.
But you're
I said Jordan's prime.
You're sitting here.
No, but Jordan won
saying
7 scoring titles in the
today's
90s.
NBA.
No, but all his scoring titles wasn't just the '90s.
Jordan, well, Dominique averaged 26 in 90, 25, 26 in 91, 28 in 92, and 29.9 in 93. So he was literally competition for 1 year in the 90s versus Jordan.
That's in the '90s. That's why I said Jordan's prime. I didn't relegate it to one decade that he barely played in. No. I said I'm keeping
okay.
I'm saying Jordan's prime.
In 86, Dominique won the scoring title. In 87, Dominique averaged 29 when Jordan averaged 37. Then 88, he averaged 30 when Michael Jordan averaged, 35? And then 26, 26, 26, 28. So he was competition for Jordan for about 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. In today's NBA, you're going to have 3-4 people vying for that scoring title. It's not the same. That's what I'm sitting here saying. And to pretend that that's not the truth is insane to me.
No, but because the reason why I'm not saying it's not truthful, Twin Man, I'm saying if I continue that logic, then I would have to say the same sentiment about Kevin Durant, and I'm not going to, because just because he won scoring titles when it was just Melo, LeBron, don't necessarily mean it's a lesser era or they're lesser players.
They don't know.
Or he had lesser competition.
Jordan,
like, come on, man. No, that's 2010s. Stop that. That's 2010s.
Yeah.
That's 2010s. Stop that.
Yeah, the thing that I was saying is that the 10 scoring titles would be hard.
You had Curry, Harden,
Curry, Albert, those guys.
That's in
the later
2010s.
That's later 2010s.
That's what I'm saying. You're talking about the early 2010s.
Exactly. That's the point. I'm not going to say, but that's the point, Johnny. When you go through the 2010s, there's like 5 players who led the league in scoring. Does that mean there's little competition? No.
No, but compared to only 2 or 1, like that's what I'm trying to say. Like in the 90s, when you're talking about the 90s,
there was like 4. There was 4.
Listen,
I think it was 4 in the 90s.
Listen,
it was 4 in the 90s. I think
there's been like 75 or 70 something, like 78, 70. If we count the last 2 years, like 78 players or times where a player averaged over 30 points per game, bro. In the 90s, only one other player did that besides Jordan, and every other era, multiple players, 4 or more, averaged over 30 points per game in a season. So the 90s.
But why you keep bringing up 30 points per game? You don't have to average 30 points per game to win a scoring title.
No, I understand that, but the majority of the people who did win the scoring title averaged 30 points per game. That's the point. Jordan himself realized that he had to average 32 to win scoring titles. That was his goal, his mission.
No, Jordan was fortunate enough to be on a team where they didn't need the ball to be dominant.
Jordan specifically said, listen, Jordan specifically said, I want to average 32 points per game. That was his agreement with Phil Jackson.
We shouldn't.
Yes, hey Johnny, but how does that? I'm saying we're both saying the same thing. I'm saying we're saying the same thing. You know that, right?
No, but I'm telling you that Jordan felt that he had to average over 30 to win the scoring title. So for you to tell me you don't need to, I know that there's players who won scoring titles averaging less than 30. I'm not saying that, but what I'm telling you is that the idea is if you average 30 plus, your likelihood of winning the scoring titles is tremendous. Like the majority of the guys who won it have averaged 30 points per game.
That's where the mentality that
specifically said 32.
Had to score 70 points to win the scoring title.
That's why I was saying that mentality is a thing.
Averaging 27 or 20. I think Shaq averaging 28, 29 1 year. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But majority of the scoring title winners in NBA history, when they went by points per game, they all average over 30 points per game.
Yeah, that's majority. But once again, each individual season is its own thing. That's all I'm saying, and that's why I'm also relegated to what the brother name is. New World and say it's the mentality. It's most importantly the situation. I think situation is such an underrated variable that needs to be talked about more. Like these guys, look at the
For what?
situation.
For
Those
what?
look. I'm saying, look at the situation of the teams that they were on in regards to the guys who led the league in scoring. It's either extenuating circumstances or it was on a team designed for them to accumulate that many shots. It wasn't just
Like
skill.
James Harden, like James
Yeah,
Harden.
exactly. Like James Harden, like Kevin Durant. Like
I
there were
just
some of those seasons why they led the league in scoring is because there was extenuating circumstances where they had to put up more attempts. Westbrook
All
going
right.
down. James Harden starters going down multiple years for the Rockets. It
All
wasn't
right.
just
So
Yeah,
skill.
most
Sam
of the
just
Smith.
went
time
on.
with the
All right.
scoring
All right.
title is one, you're leading the
Here you go.
league in shot
I,
attempts as well.
All
I
right.
just
The
went on
first.
Yeah, that too.
DuckDuckGo,
Wait. The
and
first. The
it's
first
also
scoring.
talking about LeBron James. I went on DuckDuckGo, and it said LeBron James.
All right, listen. The first scoring title, the first scoring title by average was Elvin Hayes. That's 28 points per game, 1969. Then the next year, 1970 was Jerry West, 31 points per game. Then the next year after that, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 31 points per game. The next year, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 34 points per game. The next year after that, Tiny Archibald, 34 points per game. The next year after that, Bob McAdoo, 30.6 points per game. The next year, 34 points per game, Bob McAdoo. 76, Bob McAdoo, 31 points per game. 1977, Pete Maravich, 31 points per game. George Gervin, 27 points per game. I think that's probably the lowest in NBA history. In 1978. Then in 1979, it was 29 points. Then it was 33 points in 1980. Then it was 30 points in 1981, 32 points in 82, 28 points in 83, 30 points in 84, 32 points in 85, 30 points in 86, and we all know Michael Jordan's 38, 37. We keep going. It's all Michael Jordan. It's all 30 points per game. And then if we get to 94, it's 29.8, so just under 30.
That's David Robinson. Yeah.
Then Shaq won it in 29. And mind you, David
Yep.
Robinson won it because to Dominique's words, the Clippers allowed him to score 70 points the last game of the season.
No, that's a fact. They literally took out all the starters for that game, and if you watch that game, they would just literally pass the ball to David
They
Robinson.
didn't want Shaq to win the scoring
The
title.
Yeah.
scoring title, yeah. And,
Yeah.
and George Gervin, and I believe it was Mike Thompson was battling for the scoring title, and Mike Thompson
Yeah.
went out and scored like 69 in the game. And
That one
George
was
Gervin-
natural. That one was natural though. That
But
wasn't
then-
no David Robinson.
But Gervin came back and said, "Well, I had to score a certain amount to beat him," and he did. The
Yeah.
next game. Yeah. So and then 95 was Shaq with 29. Then it was Jordan with 30. Then it was 29 again with Jordan. Then 28 with Jordan, and then it was 26 with Iverson. But that was the shortened season, so that's probably the worst. 26.8.
Yeah, that might be the worst.
29 with Shaq. Then it's 31 with Iverson. 31 with Iverson. 32 with McGrady. 28 with McGrady. So as y'all can see, 30 points per game is the
Yeah,
number.
that's what it's. I mean, when you start looking at it, 30 points is like the
That's what I'm saying.
baseline.
Majority, yeah, that's the baseline. That's what I'm saying.
And my
It's
thing
30.
is-
It's 30 points, and are you on a team where they require you to get that many attempts? Majority of guys that you name, that was during the season where either it was a major injury or their team wasn't good enough, so they had to put up those shots.
Well, that's why I say Jordan. It'd be harder for Jordan to do it now because for Jordan to be able to do it now, he would. Because again, if he had the skill set,
It depends on the team. Yeah, it depends on the team.
Exactly.
Depends on the team.
And the skill sets he had in the 80s wouldn't allow him to really flourish like that. He would have trouble scoring 30 points per game in today's NBA. Now the 90s Jordan is a little bit different because he had a little bit more skill set. He was able to shoot the ball better.
What do you mean?
So
He
that's
had
a
his
different
best
Jordan.
statistical season.
He averaged less. He averaged less in the
32,
90s.
8 and 8 in 89.
I know that.
That's a typical season for Luka.
Yeah,
38
but-
and 8.
But his ability to get to the rim in the 80s would not be available to him in the 90s.
I mean, he averaged 37 and only made 12 threes in a season. Like, come on.
That's my point. Michael
I mean, that's
Jordan is
that,
not.
yeah. That's why
That's
they
why
consider
he-
ages not
That's
today.
why they was
Yeah, you
He
valuable.
moved
wouldn't
the
be
ball.
able to.
Because
That's what I'm
the
saying.
when he was
He
in
wouldn't be able
high
to do
school,
it
there was
today.
no
He
three-point
wouldn't be able
line.
to do it
That
today.
wouldn't happen today. That wouldn't happen.
That's what I'm
today.
saying. It wouldn't happen today. That's the
I want
point.
to add a point
That's
I'm
to
the
why.
saying if Jordan grew up on a three-point line, he would be a better three-point shooter. There was
No,
no
he
three-point
wouldn't.
That's not true, right? That's not true, right? That's not
Let's
true, right?
argue that. No,
He
wouldn't.
literally, the NBA introduced the 3-point line in 1980. Like literally, he had all college to develop that shot.
79.
He literally had multiple interviews saying he didn't want to invest that much into that shot because he believed it would give the defense more breaks and take away some parts of his game.
Actually,
Mentality.
Because he
But
can get to the
honestly,
rim.
watch that
Because he
interview.
can
He
get to
said
the
The
rim.
whole league. That was
No,
the
'cause
That
whole
wasn't the whole league
No.
because
You know,
why is Reggie Miller? If that was the whole league, why is Reggie Miller shooting threes? Why is Mitch Richmond shooting threes? Why is Larry Bird shooting threes? Why is
Dale
Mark Price shooting
Ellis.
threes?
and where
Dale
the
Now,
and,
Ellis.
and
like,
where
why don't, Greg, why the star players I just named, who was in the same peers as Jordan, shooting threes?
that was the whole.
Okay,
Go look at how many threes there was attempted in a game.
Oh,
that's not what I said. That's you,
That's what
typical
I.
Jordan fan.
That's the whole point
Ty-
of me
ty-
saying the 12
typical
pointers the
Jordan
whole
fan.
season.
You
They
know
don't want
why,
to answer the
Craig?
question.
But Craig, you know why they couldn't take that many shots? Because those guys couldn't shoot off the dribble. They had to get someone had to pass them the ball and set a screen for them to actually get open to shoot. That's what you guys fail to realize.
I want to
So
add a
that's-
point though.
That's the point. The guys of today actually could create their own shots because they could dribble the basketball a lot better, whether they're
80s
guards or not.
basketball. 80s
That's the
basketball was a
difference.
Can I
lot
be
of
real, though?
downhill action.
I've
Like, to be
always
honest.
felt like Jordan's 10 scoring titles were wildly overrated. Like, I understand people are sitting here saying I'm diminishing that shit. To me, this is my opinion, that shit was wildly overrated.
Because Jordan's the only one that could win a scoring title and a championship.
It's impossible to beat.
times.
No
So
one's
it's-
going to have
it's-
10
let
scoring
me-
titles.
I
No one's
wanna
going to have
add a
10
point.
scoring titles, though. No one's going to get
I want
close.
to add a point.
Yeah, no
no
one's
one's
going
gonna
to
get
scoring
close.
times again.
No
Yeah.
one's probably going to get more than 5. No
Let
one's
me add
ever
this
going to get
point.
that.
Why I think the all-time scoring record is a better achievement than 10 scoring titles. The all-time scoring record is more of an earned accomplishment than scoring titles because scoring titles it really should be by totals. But look at Luka. You know, Luka only played 70 games this year compared to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was trying to earn every game he played by playing 80 games. I'm not taking away from players that play less games, but when you think of the all-time scoring record, you have to play and maximize every game in scoring. And the scoring titles in the past few years, like the person who scores the most in totals and plays more games should be getting it. But you can play 65 games and go based off of some calculated metric, basically points per game, and then you are the scoring champion. While someone, let's say, averages 25 points per game, and they play all 82 games, and they don't get it. I just think that the all-time scoring record, it takes years. It takes determination.
but you know
It's
why
a
they
career.
changed it,
It
though.
takes a career.
It
Yeah,
takes
no,
a
but-
career. It takes
Well,
a.
you
It
could
takes
But,
a.
apply the
wait,
same
but
Right.
Ishmael, but Ishmael, you know
I
it
wanna
used to
hear
go by
Johnny.
totals, right?
Yeah, I know it used to go by. I looked
But
it
you know
up.
why
It
they
used to
changed
go
it,
by
right?
totals.
You know why they
Technically,
changed it, right?
Jordan should have 11 because
Yeah.
he earned it from
But
11.
you know why? But you know why they changed it, right?
No, I'm not sure.
Because Wilt Chamberlain won the assist title.
Say what? What do you mean by that?
Okay, Wilt Chamberlain was the most hated guy in the media during the 60s. They said all you do is dominate and score. You're not nothing. You can't do nothing. He ended up winning a championship, and after that, they were still talking crap. You know what he did the next season? He won the assist title on purpose.
So they changed it because of him? That's crazy.
After 1968 season, he had the most assists during that season, but he didn't have the most assists per game. Oscar Robertson actually did. So
Wow.
Wilt is so dominant that they literally
Wow.
made it so that you weren't allowed to dunk. Like if Wilt was able to
I
dunk
believe-
during
I
his
heard
time
that.
period,
Yeah,
the amount of points he would have is just ridiculous.
So in 1969, they changed everything to actual averages. I believe they did the I think they did the points per game prior to that, but they changed everything from there on out to get the assist title, the rebounding title, all that had to be by averages. They changed all of that because of Wilt Chamberlain.
Will Chamberlain
I feel like
also
I-
made them change the rule on how you shot free throws too.
Yeah, he
Well,
did. He
shot
changed a
free
lot of
throws.
rules. He changed a
Wow,
lot of
that's
Duncan from the free
crazy.
throw line.
Yeah,
When
he
he
dunked
had
from
no
the free throw
free
line.
throws.
Shooting
They
free
did
throws,
that.
so they changed
They
the free
changed that.
throw.
They changed that rule before he even entered the NBA. They was like, we're gonna do it before you show up. They saw him. They saw him doing it in college, and they said, okay, we got to make sure
feel
we can't
like-
do this again.
Hey Johnny, my take on Jordan's scoring titles, in my opinion, being overrated has ruffled a lot of feathers in the chat. Ask me how many fucks I give.
Well, actually,
Again,
we're gonna give our last takes because there's been a lot of folks in the comments. Shout out to everybody in the comments. We got a lot of folks watching the show. Thanks again for joining us again. Y'all know what this is, man. We are the GOAT James Kingdom platform. This is the GOAT James Kingdom show. We got more votes. We're almost up to 100. We're over 100 votes now, and it's still LeBron James's 40,000 points at 68%. to 32% over the scoring title. So everybody watching the show is voting for 40,000. Thank you guys for joining up as well. It's been a great show, actually. You guys have been well behaved. Everything is good. But the comments, you're right. They are going crazy in the comments. Let's get our last words in before we get up out of here. You have anything you want to put up before we get up out of here, Brandon?
No, I haven't even put up.
All right, so Craig, let's start with you. Let's get your last words. Are you seeing anything
Let me
in the
go
comments
last
you
because
want
I
to
was going to
address?
say something and I lost my thought when y'all changed it. I'll go
All
let
right.
somebody.
All right, John, go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
Craig, you getting old.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on me.
Yeah, it's on you, John.
Scoring is going to continually go up in the NBA. These players are really working on their game, learning how to shoot, being efficient, and I mean I think the NBA is going to be held down for a long time for now, and I appreciate that.
No doubt. All right, Twin Man, any
I'm
last
ready now.
words? Are you ready? Okay, go ahead, Craig.
No, I'm just saying, all this. I just can't wait till we get a player from this era that can score 30 for a career. Because all I've been hearing is all these players is so good, it's so easy.
Do you want that though? Do Jordan fans want somebody else to average 30?
I don't care with nobody else. I want to prove to me that this is so much better. I want to see one player do it for their whole career. It don't have to be many.
One player besides Wilt and Jordan. One more player besides Wilt and Jordan.
Listen, every player that y'all threw the Jordan title on couldn't do it. So I guess that's y'all problem, not ours. We don't care about that.
Just one player.
Go ahead, Twin Man. Go ahead, Twin Man.
I'm sorry. People can be mad at the take all you want. I'm going back and I'm actually thinking about the era. I'm thinking about the players. Like, y'all love to talk about competition and who had weak competition. When it came to scoring specifically, Jordan had the clear advantage. He really didn't have any competition for these scoring titles. That shit is the most overrated stat ever, in my opinion. 40,000 points is easily the most impressive thing that any player will ever do in their NBA career, because it'll never be broken. So all of y'all that is mad in the chat, calling me names, kiss the blackest part of my ass, and take Jordan's cock out of your mouth. Those 10 scoring titles against that weak ass scoring competition is overrated, and I said what I said.
Take that. Zesty Jeffries.
Just for the record, he won a scoring title when a player scored 38,000 points in the league. Just saying, just for the record.
All right, New World. Any last comments, sir?
Just shout out to everybody on the panel once again. Great show, great conversation. Last words, just for the Jordan fans, y'all got to remember, longevity is not a bad thing. 10 scoring titles is something that you can only get with longevity. And, you got to praise Jordan's mentality, at the end of the day, to go out there to get those 10 scoring titles. Like it might have been easy, as Twin Man said, whether it was easy or not, you still have to have the focus and the determination to go out there and do that every night. And that man did that. So, shout out to him. But 40,000 points, man, that's a completely different level. Like Luka can go out and get 10 scoring titles if he wanted to, man. Like that's how I feel. He has that ability. But for him to get 40,000 points, I think even he himself said that he's not going to play that long. So, you already know it's a whole different type of grind to get to that level. But yeah, shout out to y'all again, and that was my take.
Appreciate that. Thank you. All right, Sturdy, any last words, brother?
John Stockton is still not a top point guard of all time. That was the 90s.
Thank you,
Second. Thank you. In regards to the topic of the conversation, I think we had a good conversation. In my opinion, we're not going to see a person come up to 40K in our lifetime. There's so many more variables to that point. And lastly, hey Johnny, I got a question for you, like in the Discord. So don't forget about that. But besides that.
Okay, I'll answer that. I'll answer in the Discord. And in the GOAT James Discord or in the FYF?
No, the GOAT James one.
All right, I'm gonna go answer that over there. I got you. Any last words, Ishmael?
Yeah, like I said, reiterate my point. Jordan really should have 11, but it's not measured that way. But still, even if with his 11 scoring titles, so-called, a career pathway to the all-time leading scorer is not an easy one, and it takes years. It would have taken even Jordan 18 to 20 years to pass Kareem. And And so that takes a lot of effort and a long career path in order to pass that. And so you have to be available for that. And so that's just more impressive. And Google says LeBron James is the best scorer of all time. DuckDuckGo being, so I mean, I don't know what else. Everybody, it seems like it. I'm just saying he's the best scorer of all time. And also, last thing, uh, people say totals is accumulated stat. Jordan was the all-time leader in the playoffs for scoring. And if you compare, I've been comparing his resume to most people. He has more scoring. More total stats than most people than they really think. So I just wanted to add that out there. But that's it.
All right, great takes by all you guys. Again, thanks for everyone that came up and joined us this Sunday afternoon. You guys know who you are. Shout out to Ralph that disappeared. Shout out to Travis who disappeared.
Still ain't answer
Shout
my
out
question.
to New World. What's the question?
I told you the question. You said you don't answer it.
What's the question again?
I said which is the worst stance to have to be have the most seasons leading the league in missed field goals, or have the most field goals missed in league history?
Leading the season in most field goal attempts missed.
That's worse than having the most field goals in the league.
That's worse. Because that's the opposite of greatness when you got to go to the regular season instead of the totals. All right? Because as y'all can see,
the whole episode was about season versus total. So I made a question about season versus total.
That's what I'm saying. So if we talk about greatness, we talk about totals, and if we talk about what's worse, we talk about what you did during the season.
We can talk about totals. Jordan's the only player in top 5 that's really played more than 16 seasons.
Because I don't know. We're going to have to go look up who has the most missed shots per game in a season. We go look up the top 10 in the
It's got to be somebody from the 60s.
It's going to be a bunch of bums that can't shoot and suck, and that's where Jordan belongs, with them. But either way, this is what we do at GOAT James Kingdom. We bring facts. We bring the GOAT debate straight head on. We don't hide from it like other guys. And I'm tired of the debate. I'm tired because they can't explain why Michael Jordan's better. But we could always explain why LeBron's better. 40,000 points makes LeBron James the greatest scorer of all time. You have to be great for 20 NBA seasons plus to do this. I always tell you guys this. You've never done nothing in your life for 20 years straight at an elite level. Nothing. Neither one of you. Anybody who's on the
I already
panel.
told you I did.
Even the baby making skills of Ralph and Brandon hasn't lasted 20 years in this world yet. So this is how great LeBron James is. 40,000 points. That's what makes him the greatest scorer ever. It's great to have 10 scoring titles. No one's going to take that away from Michael Jordan. We've never took it away from him. But again, like y'all said, that was in the bum-ass 90s, the hot trash 90s. It doesn't exist anymore. We don't play. That's the 1900s. We're in the modern era, the 21st century. We got cell phones. We got what's called hologram players performing. This is what we do. This is the future, and LeBron has given it to us. All right, we got AI rappers. We got everything in the.
They got new genders. Y'all got a whole bunch of shit in this league. Yes, the players have evolved. Everything has evolved. You're totally right.
Everything has evolved, and that's why LeBron is the GOAT. So we're gonna get up out of here. Any last words, Brandon?
I don't have any last words, but just like you said, it'll be harder for anyone to get 10 scoring titles like in a career moving forward because of just how things are. There's probably, I'm pretty sure there'll be someone to score 40,000 points, but LeBron James is still going. So that's going to be a lot of points that they have to score more than 40,000. So
it won't
somebody
be done.
can't
There's
play
no
that
more
long.
high school. There's no more high school drafts. You got to be great from 18 up. Ain't nobody going to be great from 18. They're going to start like at 20, 21, and then you still going to have to play another 20 seasons.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You got to play it's the 20 seasons that we got to see. We're going to see who can do it. Again, the guys like Wemby, he might do it, but again, being 7 foot is actually a deformity for a human being. There's like less than 5% of the world that's over 7 feet. They usually don't live long as well. It would be hard.
We don't even know how long he's going to last. Too. He's so frail.
Exactly. Wemby might not be able to play 20 years because of it. Again, he's 7'5". I'm quite sure less than 2% of the world is 7'5" or taller. So. You know what I mean? So but shout out to him though. He's gonna give us a great NBA career. But thanks to everybody in the comments, and thanks to you, Craig. Thanks to John, New World, Ishmael, Ace 30, Twin Man, Ralph, Travis. All of you guys are great. Paul the GOAT, Everybody was great today, Brandon as well. And this again, we are the GOAT James Kingdom platform. We'll see y'all next Sunday. Peace and blessings, y'all.
All right, see you
Peace.
guys.
Peace.